Okay, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Before we start, I would like to conduct a system check. Can everyone hear me well? Kindly chat one in our chat box and also in our YouTube. Kindly type one in the comment box if you can hear me loud and clear. So, very good. So, once again, good morning to all our grade 12 participants across Davao Region and SOC Sargent. Welcome to the Nursing and Allied Courses Immersion webinar. So this morning, I hope that you will learn a lot for your immersion subject because we have three speakers who will discuss to you the pre-employment requirements and also uh, the best practices in the health and sciences programs. So this moment, let us be in the moment of silence for the invocation and the singing of the Philippine National Anthem to be led to us by the University of Mindanao Choral.
magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simuya, sa langit mang bagha, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng wala di pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ayan. So once again, good morning. To all our participants, kindly type down your strand and school name so that your school will be recognized. Okay. Kindly utilize our chat box and also the comment box in our YouTube channel. So for everyone's information, we are live on YouTube. So kindly visit the University of Mindanao official YouTube channel. You can inform your friends, your classmates, or batchmates so that they will be informed. They will be part of our immersion webinar. And this is equivalent to 3 hours of your immersion subject. So you will receive certificate, and also we have various of games later on, and we will select 5 winners in each game. So we will assure you that you will enjoy this webinar, this live webinar. So let me read the comments of our participants. I think we have from Davao de Oro, we have Carmen National High School, Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, Compostela National High School. Okay, someone says, hina daw yung boses ko. Let me check. Let me check. Okay, we have from Mati National Comprehensive High School. This is in Davao Oriental. We have from Yanga College, Holy Cross of Babac in Igapos. Welcome. Paulina Gambong Abayo National High School, Tarragona National High School, Maragusan National High School in Davao de Oro, San Luis National High School, Pantukan. We also have from Drans, Daniel R. Aguinaldo National High School, Alabel National Science High School. Okay, this is from our Zoom participants. Yes, we also have a lot of participants in our YouTube channel. So again, welcome everyone. I hope that you will enjoy our live webinar for this morning. So please listen carefully to our speakers, because every after the talk of our speaker, we will be having our Menti quiz. So it's a quiz type, and get the chance to win souvenir items from the University of Mindanao. So what you're going to do is just prepare menti.com. Okay, so i-type nyo lang yan sa website or any site, menti.com. Then you will be navigated to the game. Then we will give you code number, and make sure to use correct username. In your username, you have to indicate your name, your last name, and also your school name. So this will be the flow of our program. Number one, it's the pre-employment requirement. So that is the first discussion. No? Another discussion is from our healthcare professionals and also the faculty members of the College of Health Sciences Education. They will discuss to you exploring the noble world of healthcare professionals. But this time, let's start with the pre-employment requirements that will be discussed to us by the Vice President of the External Relations and International Affairs Office. So this is really important because once you apply for the internship or once you apply for the immersion program, there is what we call pre-deployment. And in your pre-deployment, there's this requirement, no, na kailangan ng resume, application letter. So we will help you or we will assist you on how to write a winning cover letter and resume. Okay, so let's watch first this video. So here's our first video on writing winning cover letter.
Hi to all our students in CAID 500 and welcome to our second video. Today we are going to talk about two important things in your CAID 500 and in your application process. Writing a cover letter, or popularly known as application letter and resume. First, why write a cover letter? I'd like to cite three reasons. First is that because you have earned a formal education, a formal baccalaureate degree, you need to show to your potential employer that you can write and that you can communicate well. That's why you have to write an application letter or a cover letter. Second is that you have to highlight your particular skills, your past work history, or other areas that are specific to the job that you are applying. You have to think of it as a quick sales pitch. And third reason is that you have to set yourself apart from the competition. Remember this, in one position, there's a dozen or two of you applying for that position. And therefore, the first level of assessment of your potential employer is your application letter. So, how are you going to write a winning cover letter? These are our tips. First, you have to write there the date. Don't forget the date. And when you are going to write your application letter, you are going to follow the American English style. So you start with the date, for example, September 10, 2020, not 10 September 2020. The next one is that you have to write the name of the addressee. Maybe the HR manager or the president of the organization. If you don't have any idea of the name of the HR manager or to whom you're going to address the letter, then you have to exert extra effort. You can visit the company, you can give them a call, and ask from them to whom you can address your application letter. If you're going to visit the company, then tell the HR office. Normally, you have to proceed to the HR office and ask the people there in the HR that you're interested to submit an application letter, and you're going to inquire from them to whom you're going to address the letter. So get the complete name, the exact position of the person, and of course the name of the company and the address. So that's how you're going to do it. For example, you have Miss Joanne T. Santos, HR manager. Oops, you also have to make sure that Joanne Santos is the HR manager because she might be the VP for HR. And by writing there, HR manager, you have demoted the person. So it's already a demerit in your part. So you have to make sure what's the exact position of the person. So let's go back to that. Miss Joanne T. Santos, HR manager, XYZ Corporation, Ponciano Street, Davao City. That's it. And then you have the opening. You say, Miss Santos, colon. Do not write Dear Miss Santos because remember that your application letter is a formal style of communication, and writing the word Dear Miss Santos reduces the formality of your communication unless you are very close to that person. So you write there Miss Santos colon. In your first paragraph, you have to mention how did you get to know about the information of the position, whether you get the information from a friend or somebody who's working in the organization, or maybe you have read that somewhere in the local paper then you can cite that in your first paragraph and your interest of applying for the position. So for example, you would say, I've read in the local paper, Mindanao Times, dated September 4, 2020, that your company is in need of accounting staff. I wish to apply for the position. Alright? So you have there the information and your interest. Why is it's important that you cite the information? Because it's also significant to the company whether the promotion that they have had is working for them. And it's giving them an output. It's giving them effective promotion of their job opening. The second paragraph of your application letter, you can write there your experience. Two things, no? One is your work experience related to the position that you are applying. And second, what are the attributes, work attributes that you possess which you think are significant in the performance of the function. And in the third paragraph of your application letter, you can write there, you can open doors for further meet and greet of the HR or of the interviewer, because you cannot tell everything in your resume and in your application letter. So you can say there that I wish to share more of my qualifications at your most convenient time. I can be reached at your contact number or your email address. And then you can close the letter by saying sincerely or respectfully yours. I suggest do not write very truly yours, because Tagalog mo yung very truly yours, ako iyong buong buo, no? It's not very formal. Again, I'd like to remind you that your application letter is a formal style of communication. So after closing, don't forget your name and then your signature. Voila! You have your winning cover letter. Last discussion, we talk about how are you going to write a winning cover letter. And today, partner with your cover letter is the resume. We're going to talk about how are you going to write a winning resume. The resume is your personal brochure to market yourself. It should give your potential employer a quick view of what you can do for them. So for new graduates just like you can list your accomplishments in school. Do not worry about not having any accomplishments or work-related accomplishments. You can pick out those school accomplishments that show responsibility, reliability, cooperative spirit, and the like. That's why you have to make the most of your experience while you are still in the university. You can cite those experiences that you have with extra and co-curricular activities, your membership to various academic or non-academic student organizations. So what are the suggested format or tips in writing your resume? This is how are you going to do it. You start, of course, with the most important thing, followed by with the less important, and so on and so forth. So what you can start is you write your name, your full name, your address. You have to be specific in your address. You have to write there the street, the house number, the purok, and barangay. Why you have to be specific in your address? Because these potential companies of yours, they're going to make a background investigation, and one way of doing that is to visit your barangay or your residence. They're going to talk to your purok leader or to your barangay leaders, no? what are your participations, or are you really residents of that area? Then after you address, another important information that you have to provide there in your resume are your contact number and your email address. These two are important, especially in giving you feedback on the status of your application. And you know, your companies, potential companies, they don't believe that you don't have any email address or contact number, because we are in a generation of technology. So you really have to make sure that you have a functional email address and your contact number is really yours. The next one is you have to write a summary statement. A summary statement is a gist of who you are in terms of your potential to the company, in terms of what you can contribute to the company, in terms of your competence, whether you can perform to the function or not. So, two things. When you're going to write your summary statement, let's go back to the second paragraph of your application letter. I said that when you write your second paragraph in your application letter, there are two things that you are going to highlight there. One is your work-related experience, and the other one is the attributes. No? What are the attributes that you possess that are related to the performance of the function or the requirements of the position? So that's the summary statement. Later on, I'm going to show a sample summary statement. How are you going to write it? The next one is your work or school related experience, or OJT experience. Now, if you're a working student, then you can write there, but you have to make it sure that your work experience during the time that you're still in the university are related to the position or to the requirements of the company. Or your OJT experience, of course, for sure, are related to the requirements also of the potential company that you're applying to. So you have to cite that in your resume. The other one is that what are the job responsibilities that you have had in your internship or in your OJT experience? And I think it's there in your OJT manual, the manual that your OJT coordinators are giving to you during the time that you have your OJT. So you can copy those and include that in your resume, because those are specific assignments that you have had during your OJT. And the other one is your accomplishments or your recognitions or your achievements when you were here in the university. If you have, for example, participation in a community extension, because it speaks about volunteerism, it speaks about you being a team player, no? And your exposure to other staff, that during the time that you're in the university, you're not just a plain student, but you also engage yourself to other or various or related activities that can at least bolster your experience, your qualification, and your competence. The last one is, of course, your education. So you see there's nothing there in your resume. You do not put anything that are not relevant to the position that you're applying to. No? There's nothing there that asks you about height, weight, and religion. That's why when you write your resume, you have to tailor fit the content of your resume based on, number one, on your competence, on your qualifications, on the things that you possess that you can offer to the company. And second, tailor fit the content of your resume based on the requirements of the company. That's why I suggest do not buy the ready-made biodata form that you can buy in the bookstore nor in store, because there are information that you may not be included, no, in your resume, and which are actually relevant to the position that you are applying to. So that's how are you going to write your resume. Remember this, in a gist, when you write your resume, 7 things that you have to remember, or you have to make it sure that these 7 things are there in your resume. Number 1, what can you do for me? When you write your resume, when you prepare your resume, you have to make it sure that this question is being answered in the content and substance of your resume. Second, do you have the skills I'm looking for? Third, where have you worked before? It's also important that you have to cite your work experience, the company that you had, your internship, your OJT, because aside from it was an opportunity for you to apply the learnings that you have learned from the university, for sure your work or internship experience have developed you some have improved your soft skills, some of your soft skills, like for example work attitude skills, the ability for you to follow deadlines and instructions from the company, like wearing proper uniform, wearing an ID, coming to work on time, following the rules and regulations of the company. Those are very important stuff. Although sometimes we said that those are simple stuff, but those are very relevant stuff. Number four, is your experience relevant to my needs? Number five, do you have the right education and credentials? So you see, question number four and question number five are related to each other, which means that whether you have this experience or education and you're applying to a position that's quite different from the training and the experience that you have, you know, give that to those people who have the relevant experience and training. Question number six, what kind of person you are. So it's important that you also have to highlight your soft skills, your personal attributes, and last but not the least, where can I contact you? I overly emphasize the relevance of your email address and your contact number because, as I said, that whenever there's a need for you to report immediately or submit additional assigned documents or papers relevant to your application, that's the fastest way of the company telling you about those stuff. So I hope that with that information, you can start writing your resume.
Okay, so that is for the resume and also for the cover letter. So once you submitted your cover letter and resume, then the employer was impressed about it. So it's the second process, no, yung pupuntahan mo, which is the interview. So that is our next um, discussion. Okay, let me share the PowerPoint to you. So here, the successful interviewing. So it doesn't mean that you will submit a cover letter and resume, you will be automatically interviewed. So hindi ganon. They have to do screening on your resume and your cover letter because they wanted to know if the skills that they need, the competencies that they need are on your resume and cover letter. So if it is visible for the employer, then you have the chance to be interviewed. So it is now for the successful interviewing yung ating topic. So how to successfully ace the interview? Number one is the preparation because the preparation is half the battle. So how candidates behave during the interview is often seen as an indicator of how they will perform. So it is really true even in your performance task, no, even in your oral recitation. If you are prepared, it means that you can perform well. It's an indicator that you can perform during the interview. If you have prepared yourself, you learn a lot of the company. You you do brainstorming. You do planning on how to answer if that particular question will come up. So there are a lot of preparations that you're going to do. Another, the better prepared you are, the less nervous you will feel and the more confident you will feel. So once you are prepared, means dili kayo ka nervous no, dili ka magsingig panguro because it gains confidence once ikaw naka-prepare for yourself during the interview. So dili ka magsigig bunga-bunga, dili ka mangurog, and at the same time, you can answer well the questions of the employers or of the managers. The more you know about the purpose of the interview and the organization, the better your response to the question. This is consistent to the number one and number two, because once you know that your purpose is to get hired, then you really have to prepare and you really have to ace the interview and make sure na yung mga tanong nila ay nasagot nyo din. Okay? So what the hiring managers are looking for. Number one, it's the ability to perform the job. Obviously, it's the main reason why they are looking for an employee or an applicant can perform the job, because you know that the purpose of any businesses is to maximize profit. If you cannot perform well the job, then how can they earn a profit? Okay. Another thing is fit, culture, and personality. It's your attitude. It must be suited to what they are looking for, because there are some na dili kaayo makasabay gani sa environment sa company, and they have to look more for applicants that is fitted to their culture and also to their environment. So it is typically your attitude. Another thing is motivation and enthusiasm, your willingness. Will you perform the job? How are you going to perform the job? And would you like to finish the job? So yun yung main reason din ng interview. During the interview process, they have to assess if you have the motivation to perform. Another is the past accomplishments. They will ask you about your biggest accomplishments, what have you done for the past years, and how can you help the organization. It's your contribution. They wanted to know how, what particular skills and competencies you can contribute to the company. Another thing is the knowledge of the company. So if you are really prepared, it means that you also done research about the company. So meaning you have to do research. What is the company all about? You look for their mission and vision, so that if you will be asked, all of your questions will be aligned to their vision and mission, and also to their objectives. Because if you do research about the company, it will add impressions to the employer na, that you are really interested, because you know your interest, your willingness to be part of the team will be seen, no, if nag-research kayo about the company, and you can also ace the interview well. Another thing is communication skills. It is one of the essential, uh, factors of applicant. It's the communication skills, because it doesn't mean that you can talk now fluently in English, but it is on how you communicate and how you relay the message to the employers, the content wise, and also the organization of your thoughts. Okay, that's why it is really important. Another additional lang yung if you can really talk English fluently. So generally, what employers must look for an interview. Number one, there are three. No, number one, it's the question about can you do the job. So it's can. It means it's a question of your skills. It's a question of your talents. Naa ba ka aning nga talents? Naa ba ka aning nga skills, competencies, and abilities? Because if you have that, then you can do the job. Another is will you do the job? It's a question of your interest, motivation. Can you take note mo? Kaya may quiz tayo later. Motivation and right values to work. So it's the question of willingness, how willing you are to be part of the team. So it's about your interest, it's about your motivation, right values to work, and etc. Another is will you fit in the company and its culture. Ito yung sabi ko kanina. So it's about your attitude, your interpersonal skills, your adaptability. Are you adaptable in terms of the environment, whatever task, whatever function ihatag sa imo, you are flexible enough. You have this positive work attitude. So if you can answer all these questions, if you have this, no, if this will be integrated on all of your answers, then walay reason na dili ka madawat for your job application. Again, it's can you do the job? Will you do the job? And will you fit in the company and its culture? So try to take note all of this now, so that if you will answer questions, everything will be integrated to your answers. Another most common job interview questions, number one is tell me something about yourself. Kani gyud ang pinakauna pangutanon sa inyo ha. Tell me something about yourself. And usually put ang gina-answer ninyo is your name, your age, your address, and something personal about yourself. Okay? So when you answer this type of question, don't get personal or long-winded. So you answer it to 1 to 2 minute synopsis of what qualifies you and what makes you the perfect candidate for the job. So you reveal immediately what are your skills, what are your competencies, what are your strengths, your competitive advantage among all the applicants. So you don't need to state your name, your age, because all of that information, nandyan na sa resume. So what they wanted to know, what can you contribute, and why are you qualified for the position. Another is use what you know about the job to describe your strengths, accomplishments, and experiences relevant to the job. So you can include, in your introduction, your strengths, as what I have mentioned earlier, your past accomplishments, because upon that, they will come up with another question that is related to your accomplishments and also your experiences. Okay, so you can state your past experiences, or if you're a fresh graduate, what have you um, experienced during your college years? Are you part of an organization or any activities you have joined during your college years? So that is tell me something about yourself. Please don't always remember na do not be too personal or long-winded during discussion. Another question, what do you know about our company? If you could still remember earlier, sabi ko na you have to do research about the company because it will add impression to to the employer, to the HR managers. Okay, so try to reveal that you know not only facts about the company, but that you have taken an analytical view of the company. So it will be an additional impression, as what I have said. No? If you know facts about the company, particularly sa kanilang uh, visions, missions, and objectives. And in addition to citing information about their company, try to note their key competitors. So you can mention that the reason why I joined this company because it has this blah 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 compared to blah blah blah. Maybe you can just mention relevant or similar competitors or and any trends in the industry. It could be the number of years, the successful what do you call this one, attributes, the recognitions received by this particular company over this kind of company. You can state that one. So it means that you have done research about the this company that you're applying for. So those are just tips and strategies on how will you answer this question. What do you know about our company? Yung second line ay yung last paragraph na citing information about their company over the competitors. It will add uh, impression talaga because you consider our company over this company. So it's an answer to your interest and motivation. Another is what is your greatest weakness? So the interviewer asks this is to see if you're honest and self-aware. Sometimes, frequently, mistake ng mga applicants, they would answer this question na wala akong weaknesses or wala akong weakness. It means that you're perfect. No? Kinsa man dari wala day weakness. Anyone from our participants nga wala weakness. I think every one of us na agyud tay weakness. And maybe weaknesses kay daghan. So you can answer or can just the best way to answer is to think of a weakness you've already taken steps to remedy, giving concrete examples of what you are doing to improve. So what you can state in this question is those weaknesses that you have na gihinay-hinay na ninyo solve or ginahinay na ninyo siya turn into your strengths. Like for example, uh, uh, I usually overthink too much is one of my weaknesses. So what I did is I do planning, I do what you call this one. I usually believe in myself that I can do it, and I trust myself that whatever will happen, I will accept the the result or everything that you overthink. No, another thing is, like, for example, wala kay pasensya. It's or gamay kay mong pasensya. It's one of your weaknesses. Then how you overcome uh, that particular weakness. You can say, but nowadays, I do understanding. No? I usually understand these people who are experiencing this kind of situation, and I have to understand that not all of my plans, not all of my wants, no, kay mahatag pud sa muha. So, yun, you cite your weakness and then you support it on how do you uh, give actions to that particular weakness para makabalo si employer, makabalo si manager na ikaw ang tao na naay weakness pero dili nimo ginapasagdan but imong ginabuhatan og actions para mawala siya as your weakness. Okay? Because it will make you a better person and it's a good impression to the employers if you will state those particular um, factors or those particular tips no and strategies in answering this question, what is your greatest weakness? Another, do you have any question? Okay, so in this particular question ng employer or ng manager, frequently mistake ng mga applicants maging na sila wala na sila pangutana, I don't have any question. So if you will answer that way, it means that you are not interested, meaning you are not curious about the company, you are not willing to be part of the team. So once ito yung tanong, the interviewer wants to see if you are actually interested. So it's again a question of your interest. And if you're truly attracted to the opportunity, then these questions should come naturally. So based on the conversations that you have with the employer of the manager, it will come up, no? Mugawas yun na sa mong mind, yan na kay mapangutana. You might want to know what the culture is like, more details about their day-to-day responsibilities, or what the expectations are for the role. It could be mag-ask about is there any chance or is there any opportunity for an employee to be sent to school for tawag niya, for additional education, no? Or may free trainings ba and seminars so that we will be uh, what they call this one, we will be exposed to different experiences and also we will adapt new trends and yung mga ganong tanong and maybe stop kayo mag-ask ng mga sensitive questions, then you could ask for the opportunities you can get from the company. So always remember, don't answer this question na wala kayong tanong or you don't have any question because you know, ibig sabihin, kung wala na kayong mga tanong, you are not interested and you are not really truly attracted to the opportunity. So, try to construct a question beforehand, before the interview. Kahit one question lang, and then pag sasagot na si employer ng tanong na yan, I think you will come up another question from your question. So, mayroong ripple effect yan. Okay, another thing, think about the position and decide what questions you need answered before you can take the job. So, ito yung sabi ko kanina. Another question is, what can you contribute most to our organization? Hala, sir, naday amutan nga apply ba ako sir kaya wala ko kwarta. So wala gyud ko ikaamot. But that's the literal answer. However, this question asks about what are your skills, competencies, and what are your past accomplishments and your experiences that you can contribute to the company. So answer this question by highlighting your experiences related to the position and your personal characteristics which are relevant to the performance of your job. So make sure lang ang inyong isite na experiences and accomplishments are relevant to the job na inyong applyan. Kaya basig taas na kayo mo gina-cite, taas na kayo mo mga gina-share sa inyong experiences and accomplishments, but those are not relevant to the job you're applying for. It will be useless. So reveal immediately those experiences and accomplishments that are relevant to the job you're applying. Okay? So we are done with the contribution. Another is the most common interview mistakes. Number one, this is 79%. This result is from PMAP. 79% answering cell phone or texting. So make sure to silent no your phone before you tawag yan, before kayo pumasok no sa interview room. Another is addressing inappropriately. That's why our students here in the university, once may subject na kami nito, no, KN 500, we prepare them on how to wear business attire or proper attire during the interview. Another is appearing disinterested. So there are a lot of non-verbal no, na mga actions na pwede niyong gawin na maging disinterested kayo tingnan. So make sure to avoid those non-verbal actions. Another thing is appearing arrogant during the tone of your voice, and also the way you answer the questions that makes you arrogant. Please avoid that one because those are bad impressions to the employers. Another is appearing unprepared. So there are a lot of also of non-verbal actions like nervous ka, magsikag ka bunga-bunga, and also nga nang dili nimo ma-answer ang ilang mga pangutana. So it means that you're unprepared. X na dayon ka sa mga employees. Chewing gum, it's also bad. Not providing specific answers, very broad. You cannot cite any specific experiences or accomplishments that you have. So X gihapon na siya, meaning wala ka experience kung very broad ang imong answer. You are generalizing the experiences of everyone. So you should need to specify all of your answers and not asking good question. As what you can see, no, yung sa tanong kanina, if do you have any question, you really have to ask questions because based on PIMA, common mistake yung not asking good question, okay, or not even asking question. Okay, so if you have questions now, you can utilize our Q&A section. So we are done on how to ace the interview. Another thing is the social media etiquette. Okay, why it is need to be discussed because tayo ngayon, we don't mind on our social media platforms, but for everyone's information, that is one of the platforms no, nga gina-check, gina-tanaw, or gina-screen sa atong mga employers or manager if you are really, tawag niyan, you're really formal no in terms of your social media platforms because what you post on your social media is a reflection of who you are. Basig butan kay ka sa interview, nindot kay mong gipang sulat sa imong cover letter and resume, but in terms sa inyong social media, daghan day mga bad words dito, daghan ng mga rants to whatever company na inyong na-experience or kung asa mo na-associate before. So, those are the considerations no, nga ilang gina-check before ka i-hire. Even if you are perfect with the interview, with the resume and an application letter, then once mabasa nila ng inyong social media platforms na puro negative thoughts, so it is no, is disappointing for our employers. That's why karon pa lang you need to clean all your social media platforms. Okay? So dili man nga naka-clean nga banal na, but make sure nga it would not give disappointment once basahon na siya sa mga employers. So social media no-nos. This one na ay mga negative thoughts no. Init daw kaayo. I know that it is good to express your thoughts, but there is a correct platform for that. Maybe you can use Twitter. Okay? So, ay signals point unya ang PLDT, walay klaro na sa din ng sila nag-martial law food. So, what if you will be applying for PLDT soon? Tapos, nag-post day kagingani, tapos tawag yan, grabe ang iyahang kapaspas sa engagement, ang nag-comments, likes, and shares, ni famous kagkalit because of that post. Then, the only company nga imong gusto applyan is PLDT. So, XX dayon ka sa ilaha. And tanan negative thoughts, gamay bikil ninyo sa inyong silingan sa inyong friend, kanyang i-post diri. So, it is a reflection nga inga na pod ka once madawat na ka. Ingana pud ka sa imong mga future co-employees, ingana pud ka sa imong future boss. So kaya they have to consider your social media platform. Okay? So please consider in cleaning all your social media platform. It doesn't mean nga bawal na mo mag-share of memes. It doesn't matter ang mga memes because those are just funny post in our social media platforms. What I really mean is those negativities that is pertaining to your friends, family, or any organizations, okay, or giving negative feedback about them. Because if you are really concerned about this person or about this company, you have to inform them privately so that they will be also aware, and also hinahinayan po nilang change silang self because you need to be private sometimes because naging business na ng lahat yung buhay mo sa social media because everything that you have gina-share po mo on social media platforms. So to learn to be private sometimes. Okay? Because everyone's business na yan pag na-post mo na siya. Okay? So, and also ungrammatical posts or use of derogatory language. Okay? Perfect kay mo hang grammar sa mong cover letter and resume niya pag-abot sa Facebook. Grammatical man kaayo. So, could be an impression nga nagpabuhat lang ka sa mong cover letter. So, why not post on social media your insights, your thoughts about the books or the movies you've watched, or and any thoughts about the article no, na nabasa nimo, the books, something, and other inspirational because once makita niya yung anak ka nga tao, it will add good impressions to the company. So make your posts all about you. Okay? So I think that's the end of our pre-employment requirements. Again, you need to write a winning cover letter and resume. Once you successfully submitted those cover letter and resume, you will be screened. I mean, your paper will be screened, and then if you pass the first stage, then you will be interviewed. Yun yung second. So once you will be interviewed, then na-ace mo yung interview, nasagot mo lahat because the interview is the deciding factor of the employers or of the managers. So once na-ace mo na siya and when na-impress sa HR or employer, then you will get hired. Okay? So yun yung last stage na. Then other that is the submission of the requirements or let's just say yung mga NBI, police clearance, medical health certificate, and so on and so forth. Then, congratulations, you are now welcome to the position that you're applying for. Okay? And also, don't forget that you have to consider your social media platforms clean at all times, no? Or kung nakay kalagot, i-message na lang na siya. Be matured enough to handle those things. Okay? So that would be all for our pre-employment requirements. And are you ready for our first set of game? Kindly type 2 in our chat box if you're ready. Okay, so I think everyone's ready. Let me share to you our Menti. So you visit menti.com again. Go to menti.com and use the code 12171208. Again, visit menti.com and use the code 12171208. And please, in the username, indicate your last name and your school name. Don't forget to include your school name. I think we have 6 participants now. 10 participants. Our, what do you call this one? Our game, is delay of 10 seconds ating YouTube. So for our participants in YouTube, you go immediately or you visit immediately menti.com para on time, no? Or real time ang ato ang dula. 26 participants now. Okay, I think we will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and time's up. Okay, so are you ready for our first round? Okay, dami pang humabol, no? So let's wait for them. Okay, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's start our first round. Here's the question. Number 1, answer fast again to get more points. How long is the ideal resume? 1 to 2 pages, 4 to 5 pages, or it depends on the job you're applying. Time's up. Okay, very good. 30 answered correctly. It's 1 to 2 pages. Okay, so let's see our leaderboard. Think from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School yung ating fastest now in the top 1, followed by Amera, Genevieve, Beyonce, Nisha, Mariana. So, yung iba no hindi nakinig ng instruction, you have to include your school name, okay? Your last name and your school name. Okay, next question. Answer fast to get more points. The objective of the resume is for the applicant to get hired. True or false? Time's up. Only 3 answered correctly. So why false? Because di ba sabi ko kanina that there are stages no of your application process. Number 1 is the cover letter and resume. So if you pass the screening of the cover letter and resume, then you will be interviewed. Uh, the applicant to get interviewed. Dapat ito no, hindi hired. You will not automatically get hired once nakasubmit ka ng resume. But you will be interviewed. That's why it's false. Okay? So only 3 no, yung tumama. Let's see kung nandito sa ating top 10. Mm, our top 1 and 9, 10 yung tumama. Okay, it's Randy, Joel, Erica, Amera, and Jenny V. Our top 5. Next question. The best applicant gets the job. True or false? Time's up. Okay, mayroong 10 na tumama. Why 10? Because the best interviewed gets the job. Okay? Yung best applicant kanina gets interviewed. So, our leaderboard, tumama pa rin yung ating top 1. Okay, our top 1 still Randy, Erica, Maria, Nisha, and Pilapil. Congrats, Jack Ruiz is our fastest in this question. Okay, next. Question 4. Answer fast to get more points. Which of the following should not be in your resume? Contact number, education, or height and religion? Very good. Only one answered uh, the education, which is wrong. So you should not include height and religion. Let's see our leaderboard. I think Randy is the fastest. Remains our top 1. Next, our last question. Will you do the job? Is a general question on the applicant's skills, motivation, or adaptability. Hmm, I highlighted this one earlier, no, that the question, will you do the job, is a question of your interest and willingness or motivation to be part of the team. That's why the answer is motivation. Okay, that's our last question. And here's the leaderboard. Our final top 5 are, I think, Randy Steele, Nisha, Jack Ruiz, Kenneth Reed, and also Eric. Here are the top 5 for our first round. Kindly email me your contact information and also your school name so that you will be instructed on how to claim your prizes. So once again, congratulations. And that concludes our discussion for the pre-employment requirements. Okay? So now let's have our next speakers. Our next speakers will discuss about exploring the noble world of healthcare professionals, and they are the program heads of the College of Health and Sciences Education. Number 1 is Professor Ruel Nicholson M. Solano, Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology, program head, and also Professor Sherwin P. Soliano, Bachelor of Science in Nutrition Dietetics, program head. Okay, so good morning, Sir Ruel and Sir Sherwin.
Hello, sir. Good morning. May I just ask if I'm audible po?
Yes po, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to everyone. I hope we are all doing fine right now amidst the challenges brought by the pandemic on both the technical problems that we are encountering right now during the online classes and also the risk of having um, being acquired to a lot of so to speak, we have varying viruses or viral loads. We have different variants nowadays. That is why it is really necessary for us um, to really follow the health protocols, maybe in our areas, in different areas in the Philippines. So I hope that we are all doing fine right now. I would just like to acknowledge everyone who are present this morning. Um, Well, I suppose Sir Glenn instructed you earlier that you are required, I guess, to specify or to include your academic institution or the high school. Anyways, welcome to the career guidance presentation or discussion that we are going to have this morning. So let me just share to you our presentation. Okay. The College of Health Sciences Education, exploring the noble world of healthcare professionals. So everywhere in the news right now, everywhere in any social media sites, we get to have the chance of acquiring different information regarding the those people that are really involved in fighting COVID-19. Well, sad to say, I guess it's just this day that healthcare professionals, the frontliners themselves, are really put in the are really emphasized nowadays because of well, it takes to have pandemic like this for us to be recognized. But we really tend to work um, wholeheartedly because we believe that I want to borrow a specific quotation from Albert Einstein that connotes life that is lived for the others or for the service to others is a life worth living. So I guess this is the core that really I am trying to embody as I live in this world. So as we discussed, the professions offered in the healthcare professions or the health programs that the University of Mindanao offers, we will also be exploring the noble world of health professionals. So before we begin, our career consultants. So I'm Sir Roel Nicholson M. Solano, RMP, the Program Head BSMT MLS of the University of Mindanao, Matina Campus. A short background of me, I started working as a registered medical technologist or medical laboratory scientist way back 2014. I was then 20 years old, so I was able to experience or to practice my profession in a tertiary hospital with 250 bed capacity. So I was able to really indulge myself in the practice, rotating in different sections of the laboratory. And later, we will be discussing what are the roles of medical laboratory scientists. How do we contribute for the development or betterment of the society or the lives of other people? So before entering the portals of the academic institution, I worked as a medical technologist that I think molded me to become somehow I can consider myself as a trying or neophyte clinical instructor or educator. But because I have the clinical experience, I can correlate my own personal experience in the laboratory or in the hospital with my clinical teachings as an educator right now. So later we will be discussing the subjects, the sections involved in medical technology. And together with me, we have Sir Professor Sherwin P. Soliano, our NDLT PIMA EDCAR. Sir,
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? So I guess I'm audible now. So again, I am Sherwin P. Soliano. I am currently the program head of the Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics in here in the University of Mindanao. I actually passed the licensure examination for nutritionist dietitian immediately after I graduated in the year 2014. In terms of work experience, I also worked as a researcher at the Department of Science and Technology and Food and Nutrition Research Institute. And also after that, since I really craved for more learning, so I decided to also enroll here in the University of Mindanao. And my decision was really great of choosing UM because UM really contributed so much, not only in my knowledge, but also contributed so much to my skills and also enhancing my professional um, attributes. So later on, we will be discussing a lot of things so that to give you a glimpse on how the future or how what's the future that lies ahead of you if you are decided to choose tracks under the health sciences education. So I hope that you'll just sit back, relax, and enjoy our presentation. Back to you, Sir Ruel.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Sir Sherwin. Let me present again my presentation. Okay, the College of Health Sciences Education. Our topic for this morning will be based on its instruction, the community extensions, the research, and the career opportunities of each programs under the College of Health Sciences Education. For the overview, the College of Health Sciences Education was formerly known as the College of Nursing Education that was established in year 2003 as one of the premier colleges of the University of Mindanao. So for the information of everybody, the College of Health Sciences today is composed of four programs. We have um, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Pharmacy, Nutrition and Dietetics, and medical technology or medical laboratory science. But before that, the College of Nursing or the Bachelor of Science in Nursing was really the program that was established way back in 2003. So as years passed by, the college produced competitive, efficient, and passionate nurses both locally and overseas globally. This information is based also in the alumni, the background and the data that we gathered for um, the current occupation that um, our alumni have right now. Due to the growing demand of the healthcare professionals, the University of Mindanao took the initiative of offering three new health programs. So as what I've mentioned, we have the Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology, also known as Bachelor of Science in Medical Laboratory Science, Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics, and we also have the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. So collectively, it was turned from College of Health or College of Nursing Education. It is now turned or known as the College of Health Sciences Education. For its location, we are located here in the University of Mindanao, particularly in the Matina campus. So we have the four programs. I also want to share or I want to flex the simple logos of the four programs, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So as you can see, we have the symbol of the lamp. So you will know if you're going to enroll as nursing students in the future to become part of the workforce, especially in fighting the COVID-19 and any other infectious diseases that currently um, experienced by us right now. So the lamp symbolizes different clinical significances. So we also have the logo for the Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology. It is symbolized with a microscope. So later I will be emphasizing why microscope. Also, we have the logo for nutrition and dietetics that is symbolized by an apple and an individual, a physically fit individual. So later, Sir Sherwin will be discussing its symbolism. We also have the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy that is symbolizes scientific dispensing of medication. So later, we will also be discussing its clinical significance. Okay, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, we all know that this profession, though it's noble, it is one of the most common, the most popular health profession that we really encounter whenever we go to hospitals, di ba? Uh, Always natin gina-refer parang lahat ng tao sa hospital aside from medical doctors. Sometimes we tend to identify other medical professionals as nurses. Sometimes way back in my own personal experience in the hospital, I was tagged as a nurse also. Nurse ka na, for example. Nurse ka na natanggal ang dextrose sa ako ang anak pakiunsa. So it is also nice in the feeling na matawag kang nurse well, given that it's really a noble profession. But it also reflects on how aware these people are that there are a lot of other health professionals that are considered equally significant. So as with other health professionals such as nurses. So the program aims to develop professional nurses who can assume entry-level positions in health facilities or community settings. To develop nurses that are efficient in client care, leadership, management, and research. Parang, 'di ba, nasa news ngayon, if you can notice or if narinig nyo na yung time out na term, medical professionals really are crying for help, maybe because we have lack of facilities, not just lack of facilities here in the Philippines. To be honest with you, we also have deficiency in terms of numbers. Why? Because people tend to, well, I cannot force them to enroll, but we try to forget that humans as we are, I mean, going back to the core, a life that is lived for the service of others is a life worth living. So I guess few people recognizes this, the very point of this quotation. Um, for me as a healthcare professional, uh, I don't want to be hypocrite, but getting enough salary is okay for me. But the feeling that we get when we see a patient that kung makita namin ang pasyente namin na naging okay na from the moment the patient arrived in the hospital, manifesting different clinical signs and symptoms, difficulties, and to the time that we manage in the health or in the hospital as a team, we manage, we intervene, we assess, and then the end result will be for the betterment of the patient. Parang iba yung it's um, iba yung feeling of fulfillment, kumbaga. So that is why nurses also are Filipino nurses are known as really hardworking. And I could really speak or confirm this because my brother is a nurse as well. He's currently working in the United Kingdom and bahala na daw mahirap ang parang yung way of living doon. It's because away siya sa family niya, sa amin. Pero ang feeling of fulfillment and professional growth is mahirap daw talaga i-put into words because as much as possible, um, after having the patient in the hospital, we really try our best to give the quality healthcare service in whatever department it is in the hospital. For nursing service, parang lahat, they are considered as the backbone of all healthcare service in the hospital. Why backbone? Because they are the ones who are directed to the patient care. From the moment the patient or the doctor requested for a specific, for example, sputum culture, para malaman kung ano ba talaga ang cause ng ubo ng pasyente. Is it viral? Is it bacterial? Is it fungal? Is it physiologic? Is it pathologic? So nurses are really the ones who take good care of those patients right from the start. So that is why it is considered a noble job. So aside from getting high salary, especially when you are a nurse, if you are a nurse abroad, the salary is really big. However, here in the Philippines, because of a lot of reasons, we are still fighting for it. Because I guess sometimes parang nalilimutan na ng tao ang importansya ng healthcare service. And parang nalilimutan na din natin lahat na health is wealth. So, di ba, as you can see, during the pandemic, parang I'm talking with my own personal experience and my own observation. Businesses, buildings, maraming nagko-close na ngayon. Pero ang hospital, may pandemic man or wala, kasi kailangan siya ng tao, 'di ba? So continuously siya nag-e-exist. So mahirap man i-force ang mga tao to really value the contributions of healthcare professionals, but this is the reality. I mean, life should always be monitored in terms of health, di ba? So aside from that, we have nurses that occupy different high positions in the hospital, or even nurses that are working in the community in public health, yung sa mga kung merong doctors to the barrio, merong nurses to the barrio, because again, sometimes hindi talaga ma-explain yung feeling of fulfillment if nandun ka na sa field and you get to have the chance to really give an impact on someone else's life, or you are the ones that really contribute to the well-being of these people. Also, research. In medical research, there are a lot of dimensions the College of Health Sciences Education is really into. Because, for example, vaccines are made up of research. Mutations, di ba? Later, I will be discussing in our program also the mutations of these variants for COVID-19. So I guess one of its clinical importance, the nursing program, the nurses, they are really considered as the backbone of the entire healthcare service, because right from the start, the patient arrived in the hospital to the point where the patient will go home na because naging okay na sila, along the way nang doon ang nurses. So to give you some hint for the subjects, if you are interested to enroll sa nursing program, we have here, I apologize if it's pixelated. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry for that. Just to mention some of its courses, we have here Fundamentals of Nursing Practice, Human Anatomy and Physiology. May I ask from the group if nanonood ba kayo ng Cells at Work? Sir Glenn, can we ask somebody from the group if it's possible?
I think Karen and Joy answered yes po, sir.
Okay, so nasa chat box pala, no? Karen and Joy, okay. So di ba dun sa Cells at Work, though hindi ko naman talaga siya inaabangan, pero basic foundation of human anatomy and physiology were illustrated in that particular series or animation. Just like, for example, the functions of red blood cells, particularly composing of hemoglobin and hematocrit, masyadong basic yun siya. And if naging interesado kayo doon sa animation na yun, mas magiging interesado kayo if you will enroll in College of Health Sciences Education programs. Why? Hindi lang kayo magiging interesado. Parang you will be fulfilled with a lot of principles. Kasi yung sa series, di ba, general function lang naman ng red blood cell ang kanilang ang kanilang in-illustrate. But with this particular subject, for example, human anatomy and physiology, we will get to have the principle beyond that at the cellular level. For example, even red blood cells are used and utilized to know the blood sugar of a diabetic patient. Aside from that, the bilirubin degradation, its function, aside from giving oxygen to a lot of organs in the body, di ba? We all know in your biology class in high school that we all started with a cell and then a group of cell. We have tissues, group of tissues, we have organs. Organs with the same functions are involved in one or it's composed in one organ system, and then you have the organism. So we will be discussing that a lot of that in the College of Health Sciences Education. Particularly in the nursing program, mas masyadong technical ang nursing program because aside from written demonstration, uh, you will be taught on how to process a certain case. For example, may aksidente. So how are you going to respond depending case to case basis depending on the physiological damage sa pasyente. So masyadong technical on how to manage the patient fracture ba or blood loss or cuts and injuries and etc. So aside from that, if you can see, I don't know if you happen to watch also Grey's Anatomy and The Good Doctor. It is a really series that emphasizes different anatomical and physiological cases, especially sa The Good Doctor, more on surgery. And also, to input sa nursing program, you have an actual clinical internship or duty, particularly in the areas of the hospital. We have ICU, operating room. So sa operating room, you will be assisting the surgeon on how to effectively manage or how to perform surgery. So aside from that, marami pa, masyadong marami. And that is why it's fulfilling because aside from acquiring those skills, you will be able to, I mean, your core will be fulfilled your core will be fulfilled with a lot of gratitude after seeing those patients na naka-recover na. Okay, so if you are interested with the nursing program, you enroll sa University of Mindanao. Later, malalaman nyo bakit. We have prepared video presentation for that. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, my program, which is very close to my heart, the Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology, Medical Laboratory Science. So it was actually offered way back 2018. So I was the first faculty instructor who really uh, initiated offering the first medical technology subjects in the University of Mindanao. And I am very lucky. Why? Because the University of Mindanao really plays very unique role. Considering that I also taught medical technology subjects or courses in another academic institution. So I was clinical instructor and lecturer um, in medical technology program in General Santos City prior to um, entering the portals of University of Mindanao. And I was really amazed with the educational principal of the University of Mindanao. Why? Because the university caters all. I mean, walang admission examination, but the ano tawag nun? Walang admission exam, pero yung open education, pero yung Okay, open education and selected retention. The retention policy is very good. So meaning, hindi siya discriminative in a way. Discriminative why? Because there are some students that tend to bloom as they go along with the program. So the university is giving an option. Kumbaga, hindi niya nililimitahan ang chance to a certain group of people, but it really offers it to a wide variety of different individuals uh, from all or from different walks of life. And then, sabi nila matira matibay. Hindi naman siguro siya negative connotation, pero you will really you will really grow as a person, as an individual, and as a student if you really enroll in University of Mindanao, particularly in the College of Health Sciences Education. Going back to my program, the Medical Technology, Medical Laboratory Science, um, pwede ba akong magtanong? Pwede ba tayong mag-unmute, Sir Glenn? Para
Yes po, sir, as long as we will be informed kung sino po yun sila
Apa.
ating i-mute.
Sige po, para interactive. Sinong gustong sumagot? Do you have any insight or background when you hear the term medical technology or medtech? Ano ang nasa isip niyo?
Okay, you can just raise your hand, no? I think merong isa nag-raise ng hand, si Joy Maxi.
Okay, si Joy. Hello, Joy.
Hello po,
Good.
sir.
Hello, good morning. You are from?
From Tarragona National High School, sir.
Hello. Yes, you would like to share any insight about medical technology. When you hear the word medical technology or medical technologies or medtech, anong nasa isip mo? Hello, Joy. Hello. Parang nakamute ka yata, Joy.
Kadalasan po kapag naririnig ko yung medtech na term, sila po yung mga kumukuha ng mga blood
Correct.
para i-run yung mga test. Yun po yung
Thank you
insight
so
ko.
thank you so much, Joy. Tama nga naman, sila yung kumukuha ng blood. As a matter of fact, hindi lang blood. We extract blood, of course, but we also analyze different body fluids. You have the cerebrospinal fluid, the synovial fluid, the serous fluid, the peritoneal, pericardial, pleural fluid, and different body fluids in the human system. Name it, we can analyze them. How are we going to analyze them? We have different sections in the laboratory. To name some, we have hematology. Sa hematology, dito kami nagsi-CBC. Di ba yung sa cells at work, red blood cell, hemoglobin, hematocrit. But mind you, kapag medtech ka na, you will have the chance to view the cells microscopically. And you will be able to correlate its clinical significance sa nararamdaman ng pasyente mo. For example, may fever si patient. Si patient is manifesting high temperature, body temperature. So ang doctor, magre-request talaga siya generally if you happen to observe kapag nagpapa-check up kayo sa hospital, ang kadalasang request ng doctor is CBC urinalysis. Pansin nyo, ay nakamute pala kayo, pero pansinin nyo, diba? CBC urinalysis, and they always correlate it. Why? Because sa CBC, for example, may fever yung patient, malalaman din ni doctor through the CBC result kasi nagde-depend 80% ng total or the entire physician's diagnosis will depend on the laboratory results. For example, may fever. Diba kapag may infection, if you can still remember sa biology ninyo, pag may infection, sino ba ang nagte-take over? Si red blood cell or si white blood cell? Sinong gusto mag-answer? Si red blood cell or si white blood cell? parang merong ano, hindi ko kasi ma-open, Sir Glenn. I guess siguro kayo nakashare ang
Ano sir,
PowerPoint.
naka-webinar type kasi tayo, only the panelists can share and also individual.
Okay. So,
However, nandito si Randy sa ating panelist room, sir. I think meron daw siyang little background.
sige. Can we unmute? Randy ba yun, sir? Can we unmute?
Siya na po ang mag-amit kasi nana siya sa
Sige.
panelist.
Sige po. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Good
Randy.
morning, sir. Randy
Hello.
from NNCHS.
Hello from
Yes, sir.
Nabunturan, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Opo,
Any
sir.
background?
Yes.
Yes po.
So, as far as I know, sir, if nurses collect bodily fluids sa mga patients, yung medtech, sila ang nagtatest nun at ibibigay nila yun sa doctor so that the doctor will analyze the findings and of course correlate it to a disease. Yan po ang nalalaman ko, sir.
Okay, very good, Randy. Tama nga naman. For example, tracheal aspirate. Nurses talaga, di ba as what I mentioned earlier, ang nurses ang nasa patient care talaga. So sila yung nasa ICU, nasa room. So sila ang mag-collect ng sample, for example, tracheal aspirate, then ipapasa or isasubmit nila sa laboratory. Sa laboratory, depende kung ano ang request ng doctor. To give you a concrete example, culture. Culture bakit? Kasi gusto malaman ni doctor, anong antibiotic ang ibibigay ko sa pasyenteng ito? For example, na may ubo. Am I going to give this patient antibiotic? You can only give antibiotics if the causative agent of the disease is caused by, it could be bacteria. So we have different medical intervention. That is why kapag meron tayong nararamdaman, as much as possible, dapat magpa-check up talaga tayo. Huwag tayong take ng kahit anumang medication. Remember, iba-ibang tao, iba-iba ng physiologic systems. I mean, kung ang antibiotic ni Juan is effective kay Juan, wag mo namang ibigay kay Pedro and do not assume na effective din ito kay Pedro. Well, because malay mo, Klebsiella pneumoniae pala ang causative agent ni Juan and then meron ka palang pneumocystis carinii si Pedro. So there are two different causative agents of different nature and ang mga microorganisms ngayon mas matalino pa minsan sa tao. Bakit? They try to be resistant. They try to adjust in the environment. And to give you one very concrete example, viruses. Viruses are very smart. Why? After spreading in a lot of physiological systems from one person to another, from a lot of people in a specific area, they tend to mutate. Why? Because after acquiring the genetic material from a specific person. So that is why pag sinasabing dapat may physical distancing, dapat merong sa IATF, hindi nyo kasi naiintindihan. Hindi nyo naiintindihan ang significance, bakit ito ini-impose to be clinically, to discuss it clinically. Ang nature kasi ng virus, once na-acquire siya ng isang individual, it will be processed by the immune system of that individual. And I will not discuss here the genetic processes involved, the central dogma, the DNA transcription, translation, and mutations. I will not discuss it here. But in layman's term, if na-process siya sa isang individual, it doesn't necessarily mean na the way the person processes it is also the same as other people processes the virus if sila na ang naka-acquire. Why? Because we have different immune system. Also, viral load. Viral load. How concentrated the virus? Ganong to amo ang, sorry ha, pero if Mag-Bisaya or Ilonggo na lang ko. Ganong amo ang kapitbahay kay katong na-COVID siya, na-positive siya sa COVID, kay dili na siya makalasa. Ano man lagi tong ako, tong na-positive ko, makalasa man lagi ko. Scam ang COVID. No, dili scam ang COVID. Dili lang mo aware. Try to read and try to learn the pathophysiology, the pathogenesis of the virus, the manifestations, the clinical signs and symptoms. Iba-iba po. So yun siya. And kapag nag-medtech kayo, ma-overwhelmed kayo. Di ba pag ang CBC, malalaman mo pag ang cause ng fever ng pasyente, pag bacterial, mataas ang white blood cell. Pero hindi natatapos doon. Anong specific white blood cell ang mataas in patients with bacterial infections? Neutrophils. Kapag viral infections, commonly, mas mataas ang lymphocytes, immune cells. Because we have 3 immune systems. If marami tayong oras, I can give you free a lecture or background of the immune system or the immunity, pero I guess wala. So if you want more, enroll na sa BS Medical Technology or Medical Laboratory Science sa University of Mindanao. Why? I would also like to flex, di ba, flex my students. Because so far, we have 67 or more, 60 plus Dean's Listers under the program or under the Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology program. So magagaling talaga ang mga medtech students, mga allied health students, because they are, parang nafe-feel mo yung eagerness nila to learn ba, because iba din naman kasi siguro ang impact pag alam mo kung anong nangyayari sa katawan mo. For example, na urinary tract infection ka. Ang urinary tract infection mo, is it caused by pathologic causative agent, or is it physiologic kasi merong lacerations, for example, sa genital tract and etc. So, iba talaga yung impact if alam mo kung if alam mo ang nangyayari sa in a person's body. And if medtech ka, you need not to, unlike nurses really are in the beside the patient. They really take good care of the patient. They really monitor the vital signs of the patient. But if you are medtech or medical laboratory scientist, you get to have the chance of knowing the health status of the patient without seeing the patient itself. Paano? Just a drop of blood of the patient, malalaman mo if may bacterial infection siya, may viral infection siya, if meron siyang allergic reactions, pag-increase ang eosinophils niya. And mind you, kapag microscopically, maa-amaze ka if gusto nyong makita yung parang brilyante ng Encantadia, di ba? Pag nasa microscope yan siya, brilyante ng white blood cells yan siya. We have a lot of things that we will be seeing under the microscope. Hindi lang sa microscope, there are thousands, hundreds of laboratory procedures that really require analytical thinking, and parang nag-e-enjoy ka, and at the same time, you are actually saving lives. And to give some subjects or courses under the medical technology program, we have here Principles of Medical Laboratory Science 1, Biosafety and Biosecurity. If you are working in the laboratory, it is a must for you to know biosafety and biosecurity para naman ma-protect ka as a person, and also ma-protect mo din yung mga loved ones mo when you go home. Hindi mo dala yung infection na possible, hindi possible. You are working in an infectious environment talaga. If you are not technically skillful on how to implement different biosafety and biosecurity protocols, sorry na lang talaga, hindi lang sa sarili mo, kundi sa family mo and the people around you. Diba? We also have phlebotomy, and mahirap pag online classes, no? Kasi for now, one-on-one nagre-return demonstration yung mga kasamahan ko sa program, mga registered medtech and masters in medical technology also. Masyadong mahirap one-on-one, virtual conferencing lang siya, but we tend to demonstrate how to handle a patient, for example. Anong mga step-by-step procedure on extracting blood? And blood extraction also has a lot of techniques, methodology. For example, dito, di ba? If makita nyo minsan, sir, ma'am, pwede diri ko magkuha. Sir, ma'am, pwede diri ko magkuha. Ma'am, pwede ko diri magkuha. Even diri pwede magkuha. Pero some procedure lang, coagulation testing or what. Pero pag mag-ingon si medtech, diri lang ta magkuha ma'am na ana siya rationale and clinical reason why. For example, ang flow of blood is mas okay jud diri ma'am and mas ma-assess ka kung naunsa jud ka ana. So CBC, urinalysis, amazing ang world of medical technology. Not to be biased, but it's really, though it's very complex, it is really comprehensive, and at the same time, it's life-changing in a manner that you are aware that you are saving lives. And very critical din siya. That is why kapag nag-right minus wrong, di ba kung minsan, and pag walang erasures, ang mga programs or mga courses sa health, we really mean that. Why? We are not here to make an honor student, to mold an academically efficient student. We are here actually to mold and to develop individuals that could save lives in the future. So aside from that, aside from having the knowledge, we also holistically, uh, we also hold students holistically, di ba? By really emphasizing the compassion to work, to serve other people with healthcare services. So I guess if you really want to hear more about medical technology, medical laboratory science, join our family because we are growing here in the University of Mindanao. And I would also like to flex. Meron tayong inter-school medical technology quiz bee competition dito sa Davao City. Kasali ang mga friendly schools ng San Pedro College, Davao Doc College, I think LPU nang doon din, LPU, Broken Shire, MMFC, ano pa ba, meron pa ba ako nakalimutan? Basta all medtech schools, medtech offering schools here in Davao nagpa-quiz bee. And mind you, hindi naman sa nagbabrag, pero I'm just proud, ang sa third year students category, pasok sa top 5 ang dalawang students ko out of 3. And ang sa second year category, champion po ang University of Mindanao. Kahit bago lang pero may pinatutunayan. So we are inviting you to become a part of the medical technology program, to become part of our family. I guess I'm done with the medical technology and nursing program. Let us proceed with other interesting programs in the College of Health Sciences Education with Sir Sherwin Soliano.
Wow, partner. So thank you so much for that very informative talk. I guess our participants from the different schools, so I'm seeing here 57 or 58 participants in our Zoom, and I believe we are live on YouTube. So to our viewers in YouTube as well as our participants, thank you so much for staying with us. So my partner, Sir Ruel Solano, actually gave very good talk to give you an insight on what's the curriculum, no, what's the direction of the BS nursing and the Bachelor of Science in Medical Laboratory Science or Medical Technology. So wait, there's more because I am now tasked to talk about the two remaining health-related programs of the college. So first, of course, the program that is very close to my heart, my skin, my brain, and every anatomical part of my body, the Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics. So the program aims to produce efficient nutritionists and dietitians that are holistic, committed, and dynamic. We all know that University of Mindanao molds its students not just to become brilliant, resilient, but also committed to its chosen profession. And I believe that our participants right now are having this view in their mind that they really wanted to become committed health professionals. So let me talk about what is nutrition and dietetics, because I don't know if our viewers or participants already had a background what is nutrition and dietetics. I guess way back 2012 or 2013, I was just actually like you. I really don't know what is nutrition and dietetics. All I want is just to spend time in the kitchen. I wanted to become a graduate of HRM or a chef. But I realized that I wanted to proceed medicine. So while I'm actually at the corridors of our university, I'm actually looking for information regarding the or the program offering of our university. I actually graduated in Bukidnon. So I found BS Nutrition and Dietetics. Why I chose this? Because it turned my passion to a very successful profession. My passion is food, and I also wish to become a medical doctor. So, this program, BS Nutrition and Dietetics, will give you an insight or inputs on how food can be used to address medical conditions of our patients. So we have actually three areas in the BS Nutrition and Dietetics. We have the clinical nutrition, the public health, and the food service management. So most of the career path of our program is to develop clinical dietitians that are in charge of contributing as a good allied health partners of our medical doctors in looking into good or interpreting the diet prescriptions. I don't know if you've tried to or sa inyo may na-hospital na or nakapunta ng hospital. Diba? There are meals served. So you might wonder, what is this low salt? What is this low fat? Bakit ang sa kanya matabang, sa akin walang lasa? Bakit sa kanya malambot, ang sa akin is well cooked? So clinical nutritionist dietitians are actually assigned to observe, to plan, and also to serve meals that are in accordance to your um, diet prescription. Okay, so if you wanted to work in the hospital and also to proceed in the field of doctor of medicine, BS Nutrition and Dietetics is also a good pre-med. And also, aside from that, we can also work in the public health setting. So we have different activities in the classroom, in the laboratory that will really mold the potentials of our students. So you might ask, Sir, di mo ko ka ba lumuluto? Pwede ka po dira? Of course, yes. Because in the University of Mindanao, we wanted to unleash your potentials. We always believed in the potentials of our students. We are always discovering diamonds in the rough. Meaning, all of you has the potential to become successful nutritionist dietitians. So if ever that you don't want to also, or you are not really interested in hospital setting, nutrition and dietetics can also mold you to become public health researchers no, in the Department of Science and Technology, Food and Nutrition Research Institute, also in government offices in the National Nutrition Council and the Department of Health, or you may also work under the World Food Program and the WHO or World Health Organization. So aside from that, nutrition and dietetics is also a program that promotes entrepreneurship. So, yung ating mga viewers dyan na ABM students or TVL, di ba? You might wonder, kanang mga health sciences sa STEM lang yan. No. Again, as what Sir Ruel mentioned, we are of open admission. So everyone can actually enroll and explore our programs. So why sinasabi ko na develop as entrepreneurs? Because in our curriculum, we have electives that will teach you also to process food, no, food processing, how to create your yung branding ng inyong pagkain na gustong gawin. No, like for example, if you wanted to build your own restaurant, so one of our subjects later, in which I will present to you, will teach you on how to create a feasibility study of a food service food and the beverage service institution. So aside from that, we are also engaged in research. No? So in terms of food, we all know that according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food is very important. No, this is a physiological need. And if we don't, so it's like our body is a machine, no, or like a sasakyan, and food is our fuel. So we are not robots naman, di ba? So we need food. But sometimes, if we really do not dig deeper into the properties of food, no, the reactions of food while it is being cooked or prepared, so hindi natin hindi natin alam na kalaunan ito actually give us a bad effect or deteriorating effect, no? So most of our non-communicable diseases are lifestyle related, cancers, no? Cancers, diabetes mellitus. So the role of a nutritious dietitian is to somehow help you plan your food to become independent and knowledgeable of analyzing the food intake of each individual. Okay? So to know more about the subjects of our program, the BS Nutrition Dietetics. So these are our subjects. So we have the food science that focuses on the characteristics of food, its chemical properties, and physical changes it undergoes while or after food preparation. We also have the anatomy and physiology, of course, because we need to understand the interaction between particles when it is being metabolized by our body, no? Bakit kaya si Pedro 1 cup ang rice, si Juan 2 cups every meal, pero si Juan ay payat, si Pedro ay si Pedro ay mataba. So ganon. So bakit kaya hindi ako kumakain ng morning at saka ng lunch pero mataba pa rin ako? Healthy kaya ang keto diet? So doon natin malalaman yan sa pagdi-discover ng or ng while you are studying with nutrition dietetics. And also, itong food service systems 1 and 2, meal management and fundamentals of food technology, it will teach you to develop a food or a product that is sustainable and of course profitable. So one good example, one of the product of my students, no student actually since hindi pa nila pwedeng ibenta of course because it runs on a different processes sa DTI whatsoever. But in the or sa laboratory part lang, naka-produce siya or naka-gawa siya ng jam and jellies out of the different kinds of tomatoes. No? Also, out of banana, naka-create siya ng a certain flavoring agent. So, ganun siya. And the good thing there is, like for example, you are studying University of Mindanao and gusto mong kumita para makatulong sa iyong pag-aaral. Of course, you can use the knowledge that my colleagues or we, the professors in the nutrition and dietetics department, will teach you on how to innovate your or how to become an entrepreneur. So ganon. We will also study the different nutrition changes in the life stages, simula pagbuntis hanggang tumanda. No, ano yung mga requirements? So I don't know if you happen to go or to watch some of the yung mga advertisements ng mga milk, no? Mga Bear Brand, Nido, S26. So nutritious dietitians are actually tasked to analyze if sakto ba itong gatas na ito or itong formula na ito sa situation or status ng isang individual. And of course, we have the clinical nutrition or nutrition diet therapy, wherein we will be incorporating the study of nutrition in curing medical conditions. Because as what one of famous philosophers said, that we need, or the food is a necessity, but to eat intelligently is an art. No, we need to also be wise of what we are eating. So also we do food and nutrition research that are applicable both in the public health as well as in the clinical. We also study microbiology and parasitology concerning with food. Like for example, yung sa ating mga itlog, di ba? Most of my students are actually amazed or parang na-shock na, ay as in sir, dili dahil pwede nga na mo palitaan ng buak na itlog dira? Kaya mo din ay posible nga effect? Ay sir, It really changed my perspective in terms of street foods. Dati ganito ako, pero when I learned the microbiological and the principles of parasitology, it really changed and influenced my family. So see how we mold students, no? Hindi lang siya just to study, to memorize these terms, to do that and to do this, but holistic development. And that's the goal of the University of Mindanao, to provide a lifelong learning. And that's what we can offer also in the nutrition and dietetics. So if you wanted to turn your passion of cooking and eating into a noble profession, so what are you waiting for? Please do enroll at the Bachelor of Science, Nutrition and Dietetics. And we are really excited to cook and plan meals with you. So next program that I will be discussing is the program of course, the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, which is a program that aims to produce pharmacists that can effectively execute its role in disease prevention and cure, community extensions, and research advancements. So we all know that pharmacists are actually sa curative. Yun yung alam natin, di ba? Bumili ng gamot, we really don't know what's beyond it, no? What's the practice and the competencies of our pharmacists beyond what we know about their job or their profession. So of course, di ba ngayon, in demand yung pag-develop ng vaccine, no? Yung about ivermectin, okay ba talaga ivermectin sa tao? No? Pwede bang gamitin ang itong gamot na ito? No? Anong kaibahan ba or ang amoxicillin ba tanang hubag kinahanglan bag inuman ng amoxicillin? So if you wanted to know more on how to create, no, how to formulate pharmaceutical products. So pharmacy, our participants and viewers, hindi lang siya about paggawa ng gamot para sa sakit. No, they also deal with cosmetics, no? Mga haplas, no? Mga pampabeauty, skincare, no? So who knows? One of our viewers and participants here could discover the first ever Filipino-made and produced vaccine in the world, and a product of the University of Mindanao. Of course, because we engaged in research advancements. Our faculty members in the BS Pharmacy are actually committed to advance their studies in terms of clinical pharmacy as well as with industrial pharmacy. So since they are committed with that promise to provide research advancement and community extensions to our partners, of course, the result is there is a good imparting of knowledge and skills to you, our future students. So you might be wondering, ano ba ang mga subjects na nasa BS Pharmacy? Mahirap kaya? Marami bang math? So let me show it to you, of course. So we have here the list of subjects. So if ikaw ang tao na gusto ng chemistry, gusto ng mathematics, at gusto na mag-invent, mag-extract ng mga botanical from the plants, no, leaves, no, you wanted to explore analytical chemistry, you wanted to look into the nature of all of these drugs and to study diseases and how these drugs and other human, what we call this, like for example, yung interaction ng drugs with the microorganism na nagkakos or yung tinatawag natin pathogens, the microorganisms that cause diseases. So this is the perfect program for you, no? And of course, hindi lang ang BS Nutrition and Dietetics ang nag-o-offer sa iyo ng opportunity na maging great entrepreneurs. Also, the BS Pharmacy. Because if you are a pharmacist, then you can build your own pharmacy. And look at, I don't know if you are really looking into the current mga status ng stock exchange, no? Pharmaceutical companies are really booming. No? Hindi lang during the pandemic, but also pre-pandemic, yung bago pa ng pandemic, talagang booming at stable ang pharmaceutical industry. So, if you are planning to build your own
pharmacy or your own brands of skincare products or even supplements, no? Kung gusto mong tapatan or kung gusto mong makadevelop ng isang supplement that could really give, its promising benefits to the people, which is really the goal of health sciences education, to mold students to become committed to its promise to provide holistic care to the public. Okay, so these are the list of subjects. So if you want to know further and to learn further regarding this, so the pharmacy department or the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy is actually waiting for you. Because in the PS pharmacy, we always believe that we nurture innovations to give a better future for pharmaceutical industries for a better living in the future. Thank you so much. So the next partner. So we will now be showing to you some of our activities in the community. No? So before pa ng-COVID, masyadong active si UM. To be specific, the College of Health Sciences Education to engage our students in activities that could really exercise, no? The what we call outcomes-based education. Hindi lang pwede na drawing lang si student, no? Explain na siya ng mga Krebs cycle, mag-view siya ng mga microscope, mag-compute siya ng calories ng pagkain, but i-apply niya doon sa real patients and of course to our community partners. So here, so notice, so in this picture class, yung mga may mga pagkain dyan, that is during our community extension project in our partner community in Barangay Katigan. That is actually a community of Bagobo, Tagabawa, wherein we conducted health teachings in terms of about parasites, food handling. So our BS Nutrition Dietetic students prepared a healthy and planned meal. That is actually snack, lunch, and PM snack or afternoon snack for them. Also, during that time, you can see our program head, no, Sir Ruel, at one of his best students conducted this random blood sampling to our dear community partners that they in which they wanted to know ano na yung status ng kanilang blood sugar, no? So after makuha yung result, pupunta doon sa ating mga nurses to also give instructions on how to keep their health status good, no? Paano ba talaga ang tamang pag-inom ng gamot? So, yun naman yung role ng ating pharmacist. So, not only that, we also participate in outside or inter-school activities, no? Like what Sir Ruel informed you a while ago that the University of Mindanao BS Medical Technology students participated in the inter-school Quiz B and other talent competitions in Davao, wherein, again, of course, UM is not really settling for less, no? We really seek for excellence. That is why, as a result, we were winner. Actually, we bagged second place in some of the events, no? So, hindi nagpapaiwan si UM. Of course, in the World Pharmacist Day, so it was already also celebrated by the BS Pharmacy Department together with the other schools. The BS Nutrition and Dietetics naman, we participated the 2019 Regional Nutrition Month Launching and Nutrition Conference, no? Organized by the Department of Health National Nutrition Council, Region 11. So also the BS Nursing, they since they are our pioneer programs, they already produced promising professionals in respective hospitals in the region and even in abroad. Okay, so next partner. So let's discuss, or my partner, Sir Ruel, will now be giving some inputs on the career opportunities of the respective programs of the College of Health Sciences Education. So thank you so much for listening. So sit back, relax, and enjoy because, before the career opportunities, I forgot, He will be talking on research. Of course, senior high school are very well versed into research, both the qualitative and quantitative research. So, Sir Well,
Okay, I am back. Good morning again. Hello again. The University of Mindanao College of Health Sciences Education are also into research. As a matter of fact, our students are currently finishing their thesis right now as part of their requirement in their respective programs. And we really inculcate the value and significance of research in the field of health sciences. So we in our courses, in our subjects, we really have a particular portion in it that we allow our students to critique journals or scientific researches and studies in order for them also to collate ideas and methodologies for them in the for them to build that researcher um, to build the researcher in them, diba? So as you can see, we have here actually ang mga model dito sa PowerPoint presentation are some of our students. So we really make sure that they would also develop the mind and the attitude of being a researcher. As what Sir Sherwin said earlier, that we tend to have that idea because for example, vaccination, the processes involved in a certain area. And to give you one concrete example, there is one study that we are actually, current study that we are actually processing right now, and that is for our institutional research. And just to share some inputs about it, we are studying the prevalence of different parasitic infection in a certain community here in Davao City. We will one of its significance or rationale of the study is for us to know the current status in terms of parasitic infection in that particular area. And because we have collaborations, I am as a medical technologist and Sir Sherwin as a nutritionist and clinical dietitian. So our work is actually based on a specific area, and the participants are food vendors. So food vendors and those people that are preparing food for binibenta. So our samples would be stool samples, and we also make sure that we are abiding we are abiding with ethical considerations as we collate data with these participants or respondents. So we really value the contribution of research in the field of healthcare sciences. And to mention some studies that our students are currently working on right now, we have, for example, yung water sample from the Lake Cebu, we try to identify if meron bang strains ng Escherichia coli doon sa water sample in Lake Cebu. So in a particular area in the Lake Cebu. So that one of its rationale is for us to know whether this body of water is safe safe for domestic usage. Kasi merong times na may mga tao na naliligo doon, 'di ba? If present kasi yung si E. coli or Escherichia coli or strains of E. coli, it's actually an indication that there is contamination with human excreta. So meaning merong tae doon sa sample. So if this would happen, and if it will we will identify an efficient amount of that particular microorganism, it will pose a risk in the people, or it will pose a risk to the people in that particular area. So we really inculcate that because as future healthcare professionals, our mind should also be sort of a researcher. We tend to really value whatever things we do inside the laboratory, outside the laboratory, inside the hospital, in public health, in community. We really need to integrate and correlate or impose processes or research processes in the long run. For us to know, for us, di ba, to add some inputs in the body of knowledge and to develop and to improve a certain way of living in a community. For example, bakit ba mataas ang cases ng COVID-19 in Barangay A compared to that of Barangay B? What are the factors involved in or should be considered on the spread of this particular prevalence rate of COVID-19 in Barangay A and in Barangay B? What are the practices involved? What are the precautionary measures that differentiates Barangay A to Barangay B? So these are just some of a researcher's idea, parameters on how to deal with a certain phenomena, integrating the concept of research in the healthcare sciences. So I guess the University of Mindanao really, the university is really supportive in terms of research because aside from healthcare or health sciences education, we have also a lot of environmental and biological researches. And if you are aware that the trend right now is actually One Health program, we tend to professionals nowadays tend to collaborate. So environmentalists, medical technologies, nutritionists, they tend to correlate. For example, um, have you heard of the information about a patient who was considered or termed as the first man to be cured with HIV? Because HIV is, before COVID-19, HIV was really popular, right? And fortunately, I was trained in Research Institute for Tropical Medicine way back 2014. I was 20 years old that time when I was trained to become an HIV proficient medical technologist in the reference laboratory sa Alabang, Manila. So I was able to really indulge myself in that particular environment. And it is very amazing. At that age, I was able to manipulate equipment, materials. I was able to conduct different laboratory examinations, particularly HIV. And going back to this research I shared, yung sa first man, the Berlin patient yung term niya. I don't know if you are aware of that. Ang nahitabo daw ato is basically under medication or surgery tong pasyente nga to. And the doctors are trying to treat the patient with other, I guess, blood cancer. And the one of its resort is for bone marrow transplant. And they found out that after transplanting the bone marrow, they found out that, well, the patient is confirmed HIV positive, AIDS to be considered. But after transplanting that bone marrow from a certain donor, tingala sila nga nung nubo ang viral load to an extent nga dili na siya ma-detect ang virus, naging zero nan alleviate, and it's very kanang surprising. It is because yung bone marrow pala nagi-transplant sa iyaha kay ang iyaha di ay T lymphocytes nga gina-produce kanang part na siya type of white blood cell gyapon kay deficient. When you say deficient, lacking di ay siya genetic sequencing, wala di ay siya atong receptor. For example, HIV, si HIV before siya maka-attach sa T lymphocytes nimo, which is a part of a type of white blood cell, kailangan mag-match ang receptor sa HIV katong iyang glycoprotein, part na siya sa HIV, and mag-match po siya sa T lymphocyte sa human or sa host cell para maging successful ang infection. Pero surprisingly, katong gitransplant ang bone marrow sa iyaha, ang ginaproduce nga T lymphocyte sa patient, kay wala siya atong receptor. Bisag naa si HIV sa system, and naa si T lymphocyte, dili sila mag-attach kay dili sila compatible. Naadyo'y mga bagay nga dili pwede sa isa't isa. Pinagtagpo pero di tinadhana. So kato siya, lacking og receptor ang T lymphocyte from that donated bone marrow. So nahimo siyang resistant Even if naa ang virus, ma-shut out lang siya, kay wala naman. And remember, viruses are not living organisms unless they are not living organisms, so they are nucleic acids. They sometimes termed as inanimate objects, but in the context of microorganism and pathogenicity, viruses are considered pathogenic whenever they get inside the cell. If naka-attach na sila, naka-penetrate na sila, biosynthesis and na-release na sila sa cell, dara pa sila ma-considered as living organism when they are inside the cell. That is why technically, viruses are technically defined as obligate intracellular parasite. When you say obligate intracellular parasite, they cannot survive outside the cell. They need to be inside the cell in order for them to survive and to exponentially produce or uh, to produce to exponentially grow. So yun siya. So these specific ideals are really integrated in all subjects, in all courses of the College of Health Sciences Education programs. Okay, so we are done with the research. I guess for the career opportunities, can we start with the career opportunities for nurses? Well, given the fact that we already have a lot of information right now that nurses here in the Philippines are sad siya, no? Pero reality really strikes hard. Sometimes nurses here in the Philippines try to gain experience lang for a matter of years and then go abroad because sa abroad kasi malaki talaga ang sahod. Just to give you a concrete example, my brother is earning enough to pay for my little sister's tuition. And my little sister is currently taking dentistry. It's an expensive program. So if ever hindi enough yung salary ng brother ko abroad, hindi siya makakapagpapaaral ng dentistry or dental student. So ang maganda kasi kapag you pursue healthcare or health profession, anywhere in the world, kailangan ka. Anywhere in the world, kailangan ka. Middle East, um, Europe, United States of America. And I have students na already that are working in the United States of America and mag-selfie gani sila o sa high class guys rather inform na sir na they get to have the chance to compare sir in ani ang facilities na mo diri sa sa Washington, sir, in aning in a certain Bellevue Hospital, etc. Sir, we really have here certain protocols that are not observed in Philippines. But sir, ang ginapangita jud nila diri is Filipino healthcare workers. Why? Because maabilidad ang healthcare workers. Kasi doon daw sa abroad, for example, sa United States, Europe, kapag nasira ang machine, hindi sila marunong mag-manual. Unlike dito sa Pilipinas, gama na siya ang manual diri. Pag nasira ang machine, magfa-function talaga ng bonggang-bongga ang mga medical technologies, mga healthcare workers. Pero sa healthcare professionals sa ibang country, dependent sila sa technology that they become not so efficient whenever random occurrences happen. So these are some of nurses' career opportunities are community and public health, positions in the hospital, leadership, management, entrepreneur, educators, clinical instructors, nurses in the hospital, locally and internationally, and in different specific areas in the hospital, ICU, OR, emergency room, etc. So this noble profession is really should be considered as one of the greatest profession also in the world. Next is the career opportunities for medical technologies or medical laboratory scientists. Parang masyadong social pakinggan ang medical laboratory scientist, no? To give you a hint, bakit siya naging medical laboratory scientist? This is also to adapt with the internationalization of the profession. Basically, medical technologies really are the ones who are involved in the analysis bacteriologically, hematology, immunology, serology, clinical chemistry, clinical microscopy, histopathology, etc. Name it in the laboratory, we can do laboratory works. So these are the some of the procedures or the sections inside the laboratory that medical technologies work.
Aside from that, nakikita nyo ba yung mga nag-donate ng blood sa Red Cross, mga blood centers? Most of them are medical technologies, the phlebotomies. And yung mga nag-test, the frontliner, yung mga tao in front of the viruses themselves, the COVID-19 itself, from a particular, for example, nasopharyngeal secretions contaminated with the virus, we really are exposed with the virus itself. That is why the medical technology assigned in that particular COVID area should be well trained on how to effectively practice proper biosafety and biosecurity protocols. Aside from that, research. Parang nature na din ng medical technologies ang research, um, public health research, and also some people or some articles try to consider medical technology or BS medical technology as the best preparatory course daw for medicine. Well, I could somehow correlate that with the things that we obtained when we visited University of Santo Tomas in Manila for benchmark purposes. Kasi yung curriculum ng medtech is almost the same sa curriculum ng medicine. Well, advanced lang talaga ang sa medicine. Meron na silang patient intervention and etc. But medical technology is also, the medical technology as a profession alone is really explorative. It is more than what people think to be considered as unsung heroes. Sabi nila, hindi man yan nakikita ang medtech sa ano because we are working behind the scene. We are not in the limelight. We are working at the background. We are working behind the scene. We are working silently to save lives. And we also have the career opportunities for nutrition and dietetics and pharmacy. Nakamute ka po.
Hello, I'm back. I'm so sorry. I was really excited sharing these opportunities to you, our dear viewers. So, aside from the excitement to explore the programs, I know that one reasons or one factor that really contributed so much for a student, especially graduating senior high students, to decide what career path or what course he or she will be taking in the college. So, of course, knowing the career opportunities that lies ahead of him or her. So first, we have for nutrition and dietetics. So as what I've mentioned a while ago, nutrition and dietetics can work in three major fields: clinical dietetics, food service management, and public health, both in public and private practice. So first we have clinical dietitians. So of course they are the one who gives nutrition counseling in clinics and hospitals to patients that are referred by our physicians or doctors. They are actually patients that are with metabolic disorders, no? Those with diabetes mellitus. But aside from that, if you wanted to really be trained further in clinical dietetics, nutrition and dietetics profession also had a lot of advanced studies to be offered. We have diabetic educator if you want to know further about management of diabetes mellitus. So you can be a registered diabetic educator. No, you need to enroll for that. So aside from that, also in the hospital, you could be an administrator in the food service department that is in charge for the purchasing, receiving, and even in audit, no? Auditing of food supplies for the hospital. Of course, planning meals for our dear patients. So if you don't want to work in the hospital and you are more into communicating to the public, so of course, you can explore public health practice. So ano yung mga public health practice? So nakikita nyo ba itong mga batang kumakain na ito? So these are actually recipients of our feeding program in partner LGUs, Department of Health, and even in BSWD. So Aside from that, you can also work with private NGOs that offers nutrition services to our pregnant women or children such as Nestle, Zulik Foundation, so ganon. Also, you can work as a sports nutritionist. So if you are into fitness, you can work in gyms. So I actually had colleagues that are working in Dubai as fitness consultants. No, you want to see celebrities, plan meals with them, or if you want to be, or actually one of the components na no composition pala ng team ng like for example for the Miss Universe is actually a dietitian that plans a meal for our candidate so that talaga ma-maintain ang figure at ang fitness ng ating Miss Universe. So, if you don't want to work in public setting, takot ka sa hospital kasi baka magkasakit ka o ayaw mo mag-study ng mga sakit, of course, you can do food service. Ano yung sa food service? You can be managers of food service institutions. You can be entrepreneurs. You can be involved in research and development for food industries. No, I have a classmate who is now actually a head on the research and development of one of the food companies or food manufacturing companies in Cebu. So see that those are the wide career opportunities that nutrition dietetics will offer for you if you're interested to join our growing family. So next we have the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. So the career opportunities for the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. So Sir Ruel, can you project now the, okay, so as you can see, um, Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy can also work in different areas. It could be in the clinical, no? Also in the manufacturing, and even in private practice. So clinical, of course, if you wanted to push through with advanced studies, you can enroll in clinical pharmacy after you finish no, your BS or Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy program. Or if you wanted to teach in the academe, no, after you work, then you can also enroll for Masters of Science in Pharmacy and other health-related or pharmacy-related programs. You can also be a researcher, no? Partners of pharmaceutical companies to look for drugs, no? And even supplements to help in curing illnesses. You can also be pharmacists in respective pharmacy all over the country, even abroad. So look at the bright future that lies ahead of you if you choose programs in the College of Health Sciences Education. So just want to share my inputs about this, my dear participants and viewers, that when you look into a certain program to enroll, no, first you need to assess yourself if this is really the path that you will commit to yourself, not just because others told you to enroll, if not just if your parents want you to be like this, to be like that. No? Ask yourself, kaya ko ba to? Gusto ko ba to? Or ipagpapatuloy ko ba ito? No? Careers in health sciences education is not just about wearing uniform, having selfies in the laboratory, presenting very good meal plans, no? Looking at very good slides in the microscope. Aside from that, the real reason for why we encourage you to encourage yourself, to encourage your classmates, your relatives, your friends, no? To enroll in the College of Health Sciences Education, it's because of what we call life. No? We are given our God gave us the life that He wanted us to enjoy, but let us use this opportunity also to make the lives of others better and to make our lives here in earth better. So Again, we all know that health is wealth. And without health professionals, you couldn't just imagine what kind of world we will have in the future. Again, the world needs you, and we will wait for you in the College of Health Sciences Education. Thank you so much again for listening to our viewers all the way from different provinces in Davao as well as outside the Davao region. So, partner,
Hello, thank you so much for listening. We have prepared a video presentation before giving you the, I guess, the question and the assessment later to be spearheaded by Sir Glenn. So let me present the video presentation. Share screen. Wait lang po. Okay. Sir Sherwin, makita po ba?
yes, sir, I can view it here in my end.
Okay, so let me enjoy.
Uy, ga, problemado lagi ka.
Oh, man, good ba? Gusto kay kong eskwela. Nga ka ng eskwelahan nga nag-offer og nursing, nga ka ng barato, pero wala mo ko makitaan. Uy,
Ay, sus, ayun ka bala ka, ana. Na ako'y recommend na school sa imo na sure kung ganahan ka.
sure ka diha.
Sure. Ay, sinugot-mugot mo.
Light of the Southern Skies, University of Mindanao, established in 1946 by Attorney Guillermo E. Torres Sr., a private non-sectarian schools providing quality and transformative education, honing skills and nurturing potentials, providing quality, affordable, and open education but selective retention.
College of Health Sciences Education. Committed to care.
Courses under CHSE, a degree program that teaches students the necessary skills and knowledge for providing holistic care.
Bachelor of Science in Nursing.
A degree program that equips students with knowledge and skills in laboratory tests used in detection, diagnosis, and treatment of diseases.
Bachelor of Science in Medical Technology.
A degree program designed for people who want to have a career in pharmaceutical industry focuses in discovery of biologically active compound for clinical use.
Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy.
Experts in food and nutrition, a degree program that teaches students with the principles and procedure of the use of food for therapeutic purposes.
Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics.
Clinical instructors. The College of Health Sciences Education has a pool of highly competent faculty member who has wide experience in teaching and actual practice of their profession. High quality facilities. The College of Health Sciences Education firmly provide dynamic and higher institute of learning through high standard of instructions, clinically productive laboratory works, and demonstration. The fundamental laboratory is where the students do hands-on experience of hospital practices. Microbiology Parasitology Laboratory. This laboratory is where students under health sciences programs conduct hands-on application of their lessons through experimentation, observation of sample, dissection, and the like. It has established linkages with hospitals in the region and conducted outreaches for the actual hands-on learning experience of the students. The University of Mindanao promotes honesty, excellence, innovation, and teamwork that makes the dream work.
Asa pa ka pag UM na?
Land, domestic air, and domestic sea travel. to and from Metro Manila shall be suspended beginning March 15, 2020 and to end on April 14, 2020. Suspension of classes in all levels.
Graduation rights are cancelled. They are just postponed and
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and for giving us your precious time. So we are hoping that you would become part of our very humble family from the University of Mindanao College of Health Sciences Education. Once again, before heading the questions to be given by Sir Glenn, this is Sir Roel Nicholson M. Solano, RMPM SMP, together with my partner.
Hi, this is Sherwin P. Soliano, RND, LPT. Thank you so much for listening and watching.
Thank you, Sir Glenn.
Thank you, Sir Roel and Sir Sherwin. That was a nice presentation. Even me, no? Gusto na mag second courser for the nursing allied courses. However, now we have our second set of game. Is everyone ready? Kindly visit menti.com. Again, visit menti.com and use the code 91320350. Okay, waiting for players. Don't forget to indicate your school name. While waiting, sir, I think we can entertain now questions from the chat box. Sabi kanina, if may school uniform. Yung school uniform ba, sir? I mean, yung uniforms nila, everyday ba yan siya susuotin? Sir Ruel?
Yes. Wednesday wash day. Every Wednesday wash day daw po, sir.
Okay, every Wednesday lang yung wash.
And opo, to emphasize also, white uniforms po lahat na health courses or programs under College of Health Sciences Education. And then once they reach the fourth year during internship or to some other courses, OJT yan siya, some of the programs will be having another set of uniform pag nasa clinical exposure sa hospitals na and other industries.
Okay, so kindly take note sa sabi ni Sir Rowell, no, in terms of the school uniforms. So only Wednesday yung ating rush day. Okay, I think we have 40 participants. Let's start in 15 seconds. Five, four, three, abot pa 40 ganina. 2, and we can start now. Okay, 41 again. So here's the question number 1. Which of the following health professionals are considered as the backbone of the entire healthcare services? Nurses, nutritionists, dietitians, medical technologists, or medical laboratory scientists, or pharmacists? Okay, very good. 25 answered correctly. That's the nurses. Okay, let's see our leaderboard. Okay, our top one is Malubay from MNCHS, followed by Janice of St. Alexius, Lapuz of Pantukan National High School, Montana, and Saludin, still from Pantukan National High School. Let's have our question number 2. Make sure to answer fast to get more points. Here's the question. Which of the following health professionals are the ones who prepare and dispense medications? Nurses, nutritionists, dietitians, medical technologists, or medical laboratory scientists, or pharmacists? Okay, time's up. The correct answer is pharmacists. Okay, so only 14 answered correctly. So what happened to the 31 participants? So again, who prepare and dispense medications are the pharmacists. Okay, tingin ko maraming magbe-medtech. I think we have new first and second place. Janice from St. Alexius, followed by Saludin of Pantukan, Bincolado of Tarragona, Randy of Nabunturan, and Ibanez of UM Gianga. Now, let's have the third question. Which of the following health professionals are the ones who identify patients' dietary requirements and restrictions? Okay, very good. Only 4 answered medical technologies. Now let's have our fourth question. Okay, we have still Janice, Saludin, Randy, Bincolado, and Ibanez. Okay, very good. Now let's have our fourth question. Answer fast to get more points. Question, which of the following health professionals are known as the unsung heroes that analyze blood and the other fluids? Okay, ito na lang ata yung hindi na mention. No? So I hope everyone answered correctly. May 4 pa. So only 49. 49 of our participants answered correctly. Very good. So let's see our leaderboard. Okay, Randy. Na over ano niya no, yung first spot. We have Randy from Nabuntoran, followed by Janice of St. Alexius, Saludin of Pantukan, Bencolado of Tarragona still on the top 5, Ibanez from Ganga College. Leading to our last question, and we will reveal right after our 5 winners. Here's the question. The University of Mindanao College of Health Sciences Education, which is formerly known as the College of Nursing, was established in the year sa kanya year 2003. Okay, 38 answered correctly. Are you excited with our final leaderboard? Okay, so I will reveal to you our winners. Here are the top 5. We have, oh, what happened to Randy? Oh, si Vinculado yung ating consistent. So, siya yung nag-top 1, followed by Saludin, Ibanez, Janice of St. Alexios, and Steve Gerarman. Okay, so again, please email me your contact information and your school name so that you will be instructed on how to claim your prizes. Okay? So, now let's have the About UM presentation. So, since a lot participants a while ago asking about the admission procedures on how to enroll online and etc. So now I will discuss to you the reasons why you need to choose UM. So I think you are already decided what program will you enroll or what course will you take in college among the 4 options kanina. I think my dentistry nang ask if available ba siya sa UM. Suddenly wala po kaming dentistry, and we are only offering 4 programs, major programs for our College of Health Sciences Education. I think merong one, yung short term, tama ba ako sir, yung sa midwifery. But for a 4-year course or 4-year program, yung nursing, medtech, pharmacy, and nutrition dietetics, yun po yung program offerings ng University of Mindanao. So why you need to choose UM? Number one, we are a leading private institution in the region. As what you can see, we have various of recognitions received from different accrediting agencies and different institutions, including the highest recognition in the Philippines, which is the Philippine Quality Award. And for your information, it will only be given to a rare number of institutions and companies, and UM is one. Okay, that's why only the president himself can award that kind of recognition. Another is we are an ISO 9001-15 certified. So it is an advantage for you, particularly if you are planning to work abroad, because our standards here in the university are the same with the standards abroad. We are following their standards. Kaya the University of Mindanao granted ISO certification, which is an ISO 9001-2015 certification. And also UM is second in the Philippines. We are next to University of Santo Tomas in terms of the number of accredited programs. It means that our program offerings are not just courses for you to enroll, but these courses are accredited by POCOA. So in terms of the faculty, we have the skilled and competent faculty members. And in terms of our facilities, equipment, and laboratories, these are international and modern standard, and so on and so forth. In terms of the process, in terms of the system, are very systematized. Since we are an ISO 9001-5015 certified, and our programs are accredited by PACOCO. So ganun po yung standard ni UM. We do not settle for less, as what they had said earlier. And we are the leading in terms of the education here in Mindanao. Another reason why you need to choose UM, it's the flexibility of the schedule. We are the most friendly in terms of the schedule. I know that you are already practiced about your semestral system, no? Kasi dyan sa senior high, you have 2 semesters in a year. And in each sem, meron kayong siguro aabot ng 10 and minimum of 8 subjects per sem. So, sa UM, ginawa niyan siya ng twist yung per sem, hinati niya into 2 terms. Kaya tinawag natin na term system. So, since in one sem merong 5 months and in one sem merong 8 to 10 subjects, we divide that one into 2 terms. Yun yung ginawa ni UM na twist para maging friendly and flexible to all. Paano yan siya? So, di ba yung one sem has 5 months and 8 subjects. If you will divide that one into 2 terms, it means that in each term, mayroong 2.5 months and mayroong 4 na subjects. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pressure sa yourself, no? Kasi during sa practice nyo, you have to prepare all the 10 subjects during sa inyong quizzes, performance tasks, activities, exams. You have to prepare for all the entire 8 to 10 subjects per sem. But in UM, you will only prepare for the 4 subjects per term and you will only meet that one 4 hours a day. That's the advantage of our schedule system or our term system. No? So meaning really pressure because you'll only spend 4 hours a day and pag nanay exam kanang upat lang po yung studyhan, you don't need to prepare all the 8 subjects, you don't need to study all the 8 subjects kaya once mag-end na ang term human na po mo anang subjects, move on na mo anang upat, then new subjects na po on the second term nga mo na lang po yung i-focus. Okay, so what does it mean? Unsa may advantage ana kung nga ng schedule, meaning dako ang inyong oras nga nabilin, no? Di ba, in a day there is a 24 hours, there are 24 hours in a day, so why not spend the rest of the hours working, find for a job. So wala gyud reason nga dili mo kaskwela, wala gyud may reason nga financially man na dili gyud siya rason nga dili mo kaskwela kay CUM is given this kind of advantage and opportunity for students nga makaskwela despite nga naay problema sa financially, no? Okay, why not look for a job, study ka buntag or eskwela ka buntag, then trabaho ka hapon gabi, or vice versa, trabaho ka buntag hapon, eskwela ka sa gabi. So wala gyud rason nga dili ka eskwela if you are really interested, if you are really motivated to enroll and to finish your education, no? Maong among estudyante diri sa normal yun kanang face to face mula pas mig 25,000 students, but during this pandemic we have reached almost 20,000 students, and the main reason why they prefer UM it's because of the schedule, because they have a lot of time for the other priorities that they have, for the part-time jobs that they have, and also there are, I think, 60 to 70% of our students are working scholars, no? They are not full-time student and they are the ones na ay mga trabaho, na mga priorities sa balay, but they can still manage to enroll and they can still manage to finish their education because of our flexibility of schedule and our friendly sessions, no? You can choose morning, you can choose afternoon, you can choose evening. Kamu ang mamili. Kamu ang mamili sa subject, kamu ang mamili sa time, pwede kong mag-friendship goals mo pag-graduate, pwede. Life goals mo, sabay mong enroll sa UM, classmate po tanan sa subject, sabay po mong graduate. Because kamo may mo pili, no? So pwede rin mo kinopyahay sa inyo ang code para at least you have friends na makonsultahan, ma-ask, no? You can do teamwork. So that's a good thing about the flexibility. Dara pa lang, makingon na mga sa UM na lang. But there are more than that, no, nga mga rason. Number 2, it's the affordability of our education. I think nag-research na mo kung pila ang mga tuition fee or total assessment sa ubang medical schools. Kinsa man ang maka-chat, no? Maka-type sa chat box kung pila ang tuition fee sa uban. Okay. Kinsa kaya ang idea kung pila ang tuition fee? Yes, expensive good. You cannot look for any private university 50K a year. That's affordable na ng 50K a year. Because there are 2 semesters. Baka 50K per sem. 35,000 per sem. So, sobrang mahal. But in UM, our tuition fee for regular subjects ranging from 15 to 20,000 per sem. But for our medical, no, or for medical programs, nalapas lang siya ng 20,000 but not more than 25,000 per sem. So it is really affordable for a private university and particularly if you will enroll no mga medical programs. So yun lang yung tuition fee namin, and you will experience international standard and globally standard nursing, medtech, pharmacy education, and Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Dietetics education. Okay? So ganun po ka-affordable si UM. And aside from that, we have various of scholarship programs na pwede nyo applyan. For now, we have academic scholarship program. This academic scholarship program is offered to senior high graduates na may at least 95% of general average. You will be automatically part of our program or for that scholarship program. So meaning free yung tuition fee, yung miscellaneous na lang yung babayaran. Okay? Only qualification po is at least 95% yung general average. Pero kung hindi umabot, if you will enroll in UM, you can still apply for academic scholarship program na hindi 95% yung kailangan. At least 90 na lang, general average. But for now, for freshmen, since we do not filter na dapat yung qualified lang, yung may at least 150 na graduates, regardless of the number of graduates, as long as aabot ang 95% ng general average, you will be qualified for the scholarship program. And for now, yun lang muna since meron tayong pandemic, since students are not allowed to uh, work inside the campus, no? 21 below, bawal. So, kaya na-stop muna yung ating student training assistance program as well as the athletic scholarship. We also publish publication and many more. But if we will go back to the normal talaga, and if IATF and local government will allow you to have the face-to-face classes, or if they will allow you and to conduct face-to-face classes, then possible na yung mga scholarship programs na yun or will go back to normal then. Okay, it will be available to all the students who will be qualified. But for now, there are a lot of external scholarship programs offered by government agencies and also the private companies, no? And the good thing, if you want the UniFast scholarship by CHED, the only qualification is for you to enroll in UM. Pag enroll naman sa UM will submit all the list of freshmen, all of the list of the students in the university, and then we'll submit that one to CHED. Then CHED will select among all the students submitted by the university. So you will be qualified for the UniFast, and that UniFast is 30,000 per sem. Unya, ang tuition fee sa medtech, wala nakalapas ng 25K, napamoy sobra nga 5,000 pang allowance, diba? So as early as now, pangita na magpamaagiun sa inyo pag-apply sa mga external no scholarship programs like CHED. Ang technique ana, you follow their Facebook pages, you go to their websites, and then see first no, i-follow yun sila nga kamoy una makakita so that you will be notified on how to apply on that scholarship programs para at least makatabang sa inyo ang pag-eskwela. And I think we are more affordable karon kay online man ta na ay 40% cut on the miscellaneous. So particularly kamo gyud ang maka advantage ana because more on miscellaneous man mo, more on laboratories. So there is this cut on miscellaneous. Okay, so grab this opportunity to enroll in a private university na affordable lang. Okay, so again, we have 11, no, the colleges and departments, and one of that is the College of Health and Sciences Education that is offering 4 programs na sabi na mention na nila kanina. So the good thing in choosing University of Mindanao during this pandemic is that we are utilizing the learning management system or a learning management system. You don't need to worry, no. I think in the public school, yung mga parents no, yung pumupunta sa school to claim the modules and to submit all your outputs. And then, so marag hassle siya. Tapos, everything is hard copy. Meaning kanyang mga modules, mga answer, and etc. But in UM, we are utilizing learning management system, particularly in college for using the Blackboard LMS. Everything is there na, integrated na lahat. From quizzes, assignments, activities, performance test exams, and you will meet with your teachers no at least twice a week for the discussion. So dili lang mo magsigig tanaw sa inyong module, but it will be discussed to you by the professors para mas ma-picture out, para mas masabtan pa ninyo klaro. So dili pag yun mahasol yung parents magsigig hatod no, og claim sa inyong mga modules because everything is there now. As long as you have the internet connection, you can learn anywhere, no, bisag asa sa inyong lugar as long as na internet. You can use cell phone because this is also phone friendly, and you can also use tab, but you don't need to use these equipments at all time. Okay, we have two modes of um, learning or the delivery of instructions man. We have the synchronous and asynchronous. Yung synchronous, yun lang yung mag-meet kayo real time with your teachers online or virtually. Okay, so that is for our learning management system. Another is Open Education University. This is the main reason, no? Another reason why they prefer to study in UM. Dahil wala po kaming entrance exam because we believe that everyone has a right for quality education. It doesn't mean that you cannot pass the entrance exam, no? Tambay na lang ka. And we don't know kamo da itong makabuhat, no, sa vaccine na made in here in the Philippines. Kaso wala lang ka nakapasa entrance exam. Yun lang. We don't want that. And we want you to enroll in the University of Mindanao. And yung mga professors na ninyo ang bahala mo harness sa inyo as diamonds in the rough to a gem, no? To a diamonds that shines. So yun, you can enroll regardless of the status of your grades as long as ano ka, no, confirmed as graduate good ka sa senior high, then you can enroll in UM kasi wala kami pinifilter na grades. We do not filter nga dapat ito lang na mga students yung makapasok, yung may at least ganitong grado lang, hindi po ganun sa UM. You are all welcome and you will be a different person once you graduate na. Okay? And also wala kaming uniform, but for nursing and other allied courses, meron, but yun sabi nga kanina, every Wednesday is a wash day. Okay, so you can do your hashtag OOTD actually in the university. And despite that we are not filtering the grades, dapat bright lang makasunod sa UM, still we are the home of top-notchers in the region. As what you can see, for the span of 5 years, we produced more than 120 top-notchers, no? And I think for our nursing, for I think 3 consecutive times, 100% yung ating passing rate. Lahat talaga pumapasa sa board exam. And for the medtech, pharmacy, and nutrition dietetics, since there are new programs pa, wala pa naman talagang nakapagtapos. But for our nursing, for 3 consecutive years or more than, 100% talaga yung may passing rate. And I think may top 9 tayo that time. And as what you can see here in the picture, yung mga smiling faces ng ating top-notchers as they received their incentives from the university president. So if you will tap the board, no, you will enjoy the incentives up to 1 million pesos from our university president. Manang lipay ka na sila sa picture. Okay? So wala lang ka nag-tap, makakwarta pag yun ka. So this is the one thing I can say to everyone or to all of our participants. You can be assured that choosing UM will be the best decision you will ever make. Okay, so before we end, let's have another quiz. This is the last quiz. This is about UM. I hope everyone is ready for this quiz. For our enrollment procedures class, since mag-summer pa man may no, karong June o July, kindly visit or like our Facebook page because we will announce it on our Facebook page and also on our websites on how to enroll online kasi online lang lahat yung aming process. But if you are here in Davao City, you can enroll naman on-site. Meron din kaming on-site enrollment. Okay, so easy lang naman ang pag-enroll. Pay the down payment of 1,750. But minsan, no, 1,000 is okay, pwede na. 1,000 pesos and that is deductible to the total assessment. Okay, so let me share to you my screen for your quiz. So this is about UM quiz. Okay, so this is the code number 5489245. While waiting, I'll entertain questions from our participants. Online enrollment lang ba sir or pwede mo adto sa school? Pwede mo adto diri man. We have on-site enrollment. Same lang po ba if sa Tagum or different po? I think Tagum is not offering other allied courses of nursing. Okay, since this is the new programs of the university, this is only available sa ating main campus. Okay, but anywhere naman, no, you can enroll in UM since online pa tayo ngayon. Then, prepare lang yourself to transfer here in the main or in Davao City. And I think it is an advantage for you if you will enroll here in Davao City because we are located in the heart of the city. There are various opportunities, no? You can work online, you can work near fast food chain, diri sa duol nga mga call center agencies for you to survive and for you to finish your education. So, dagag opportunities dire sa Davao City. So it's another option for you to choose you. Aside from choosing UM, you have to choose na kung asa mga branch. Sir, my entrance exam po. Again, wala po kaming entrance exam. Okay? You just have to submit the requirements and all the procedures you have to follow para maka-enroll mo. That will be posted on our Facebook page. Wala po kaming bridging program para sa mga senior high. Regardless of your strand, gas man ka, ABM man ka, ano pa ba, TVL, you can still enroll in nursing, medtech, pharmacy, and nutrition dietetics because regardless naman of your strand. The only advantage kung you are from UMS or STEM and TVL ka related to midwifery, then you have the advantage na, no? You have your prior knowledge or your foundation. But wala po kaming bridging. You can enroll regularly. Okay. So let's start, no? 15. Umabot tayo ng 50. Here's the question number 1. UM offers quality, affordable, and blank education. Open, free, or exclusive? Okay, time's up. The correct answer is open. So we are not free because we're a private university, but we're offering affordable education. And obviously, we're not exclusive because we are open to everyone who is willing to enroll in the University of Mindanao. And you are all welcome. No? So that's for our question number 1. Let's see our leaderboard. I think from Tarragona, yung 5, top 5 are all from Tarragona National High School. We have Pido, Dalhog, Villa, Joy, and Malina. Now let's have our second question. Ang secret nito class, you need to answer fast to get more points. How much is the total assessment of UM per semester? 15 to 20, 25 to 30, or 30 and above? Okay, I think everyone has voted. Correct answer is 15 to 20,000. Okay, so 34 answered correctly. Let's see our leaderboard. Nakaya mo apas ato sa Tarragona. Tarragona. I think Charm is the fastest. Now on its 4th spot. Now let's have our third question. UM has how many terms in one sem? 3 terms, 2 terms, or 4 terms? Okay, very good. No, we only have 2 terms in one sem. Yung na-discuss ko kanina na divide 2 yung each semester. Now, our leaderboard for this round. Villa is the fastest. Okay, Dalhog still tatlong Tarragona and GC May Magbutong of MNCHS is part of the top 5. Our question number 4. UM has school uniform and admission exam. This is for the general students, no? That is not only for nursing. UM has school uniform and admission exam. True or false? Okay, time's up. Okay, very good. The answer is false. But for our med, like, no, and nursing allied courses, meron kayong school uniform. But si UM talaga was known for having no school uniform since you are special programs, yung mga nursing allied courses, sila lang yung may school uniform. However, every Wednesday wala. And obviously, wala naman talagang entrance exam si UM. That's why the answer is false. Okay, so let's see our fourth leaderboard. Think gula pa. So we're top 5 here. We have Dalhog, Pido, Cardiff, GCMA, and Malinaw, Tarragona National High School. Now, our last question. This is a bonus question, no? Walay mali ani. I am planning to enroll in UM. Yes or no? Okay, time's up. Okay, sakit. No, may 7 lang na hindi pa nakapagplano to enroll in UM, but I hope no na convinced mo to enroll in UM. And 43, sarap sa eyes because there are 43 participants are willing or planning to enroll in the University of Mindanao. Thank you for your feedback. And now let's have our final leaderboard. Here are the winners for top 5. We have, I think Pido is the fastest. Dalhog of Daragona National High School, followed by Pido, Cardiff, Malinaw, and Jesime Magbuto of Mati National Comprehensive High School. Congratulations. And once again, you can be assured that choosing University of Mindanao will be the best decision you will ever make. So if you will be, if you're planning to enroll in UM, kindly follow our social media platforms, University of Mindanao official page. This is on Facebook para ma-update mo sa enrollment, scholarship offerings, and other future postings and announcements. And also YouTube, don't forget to subscribe in our YouTube channel so that you will be notified also on our future uploads. And Twitter, UM Official, Instagram at UMindanao, and our website, www.umindanao.edu.ph. Okay? So once again, thank you so much for your efforts, for your participation, for your time, and also to your teachers, to your immersion advisors for allowing you for in joining this kind of live webinar. And you will receive certificate of participation once you will accomplish this Google form. I will send it to our chat box so that you can accomplish once mag-accomplish one form, then you will receive you will we will forward to you your certificate. So here's our attendance form. Okay, again, kindly accomplish this form for your attendance. I think may mga questions. Let us entertain one by one. Ilan ang slot kunin niyo for BSN course? Wala naman kaming number of slots. As long as you're interested to enroll, you are welcome. Wala kaming slots. Unlimited yung kinukuha namin. And I think the College of College of Health Sciences Education have almost 500 or more than 500 students. So hindi kayo mag-iisa if you will enroll in our medical courses. Same with MedTech. Wala po kaming slot. Unli po yung kukunin namin as long as many as students, no? Kailan po ang admission ng UM? So I think this will be on July pa since we still have summer classes. And our school calendar now will start on August. August pa yung pasukan. Magkano ang tuition fee? Yun yung sabi ko kanina, no? Yung 15 to 20,000. But if may laboratories na kayo, then mag-reach siya ng up to 25K. So I think nasagot na lahat ng mga tanong sa ating Q&A box. Let's have the chat box. How many slots for MedTech? Wala po kaming limited slots for all of our programs dahil we can cater as many students. Since our campus, no, is the largest private university, no, in terms of area. We have 28-hectare campus. So sulod good mo diri tanan. We have 3 sessions. Okay. So let me also share our attendance form sa ating YouTube account. Okay, for those who don't have any concerns and questions, thank you so much for joining, and also to our speakers, Professor Roel Solano and Professor Sherwin Soliano. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort, no, in preparing a presentation for our dear students. So once again, advance in behalf of the University of Mindanao and the Faculty of College of Health Sciences Education, we would like to congratulate you in advance. Advance, happy graduation day. Thank you everyone for joining, and keep safe always.